Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM, also broadcast on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live and on Flow at Channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock. From the studios of Nationwide Radio,
Morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide this morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Tuesday, July 7, 2026. Government says construction on the modular houses promised to people left homeless by Hurricane Melissa has begun. Opposition leader suggests that the Integrity Commission has more reports on the embattled Dr. Andrew Wheatley. Government senator hails the latest figures showing that murders are down by 24%. In regional news, New CARICOM chair insists that the impact of the body must be felt throughout the region. In international news, 18 wounded in Damascus bomb attack during French president's visit. In sports, defending champions Argentina will face Egypt and Switzerland will take on Colombia in today's World Cup round of 16 matches. And in business, Samsung Electronics expects 19-fold jump in its profits. The details after the break.
Listen up, motorists. Every driver's license starts with 0 demerit points. But when you commit certain traffic offences, points are added to your record after payment of the traffic ticket at the tax office or conviction by a court. Quick maths, 10 to 13 points, a 6-month suspension. 14 to 19 points, 1 year. And 20 points or more, a 2-year suspension. Don't risk it. Obey the road code, drive responsibly, and avoid demerit points. This message is brought to you by the Island Traffic Authority.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The government says construction has begun on the modular houses promised to Jamaicans left homeless by Hurricane Melissa, but no family has moved in yet. The opposition has questioned the delay in the distribution of container houses to those in need. In an update on Monday, Minister with responsibility for land titling and settlements, Robert Montague, says the construction and assembling phase started last week.
I can confirm that the work on the basis for the containerized housing solution has commenced. Work started last week in Western Jamaica, and as the minister that has oversight, I was scheduled to go down last Wednesday to actually do a launch, but I had some other commitments that came up suddenly, and we have scheduled to go later this week, and the members of the media and the public will be advised because we have other announcements to make with regards to that project.
The government says about 1,500 of the modular houses are now in Jamaica, with a further 1,000 units due to arrive by the end of this month. It says it expects that over the coming weeks and months, enough bases will be built and houses assembled to begin handing them over to residents. The government blames the earlier delays on global shipping problems around the Chinese New Year and other logistics constraints. Montague says that these issues have now been fully resolved.
The project is ongoing and will be rolled out in phases because we are following the guidelines and the guardrails, governance guardrails that are set out in law. And as we try to strike that balance between the urgency of building out the units and abiding and observing our governance guide laws, we ask for patience and understanding. But we do have units in the country, in Western Jamaica. Bases are being built and more units are being shipped as we schedule our shipping space.
Robert Montague, Minister with responsibility for land titling and settlements. He knows this is the first of several investigative reports by the Integrity Commission. That's the claim of opposition leader Mark Golding, as he opined on why the Prime Minister has not taken any action to remove Dr. Andrew Wheatley from Cabinet. Golding made the claim while addressing comrades at the Admiral Town Divisional Conference in Kingston on Sunday.
The Prime Minister is trying to tough it out, trying to ride it out, hoping that it will be a 9-day wonder. Why is this, comrades? Well, it is because he knows that this is the first of several, and what happens in this case is going to influence what happens in the rest that are to come. And he himself is the subject of a very serious investigative report with allegations of all kinds of irregular financial dealings, which the Integrity Commission said should be referred to the FID, the Financial Investigation Division, which investigates financial crimes, because there was certain information that they were seeking from Andrew Holness and he was not willing to provide them. And so they couldn't take the matter to its conclusion. And that matter is now in abeyance.
The Integrity Commission has recommended that Dr. Wheatley be charged with the 4 offenses in relation to his statutory declarations between 2013 and 2022. The Commission alleges that his assets are disproportionate to his earnings to the tune of $164 million. Among the offenses are illicit enrichment and making false statutory declarations. Following the tabling of the report, there have been growing calls for him to resign from Cabinet or for the Prime Minister to remove him. Among those making the call are the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, the Jamaica Umbrella Group of Churches, and the National Integrity Action. Dr. Wheatley has consistently denied the allegations and is challenging the Integrity Commission's ruling in court. Golding told comrades in Admiral Town that the opposition will continue to apply pressure.
What we see is the labor rights. Their tactic is to try and tie the matters up in court. But we will continue to apply the pressure. We will continue to bring this matter to the minds of the public on a constant basis, because we know that what is going on is wrong. What is going on is not good for Jamaica. What we have is a corrupt regime holding power in Jamaica now, manifesting its corrupt practices and trying to cow down the people and distract the people in various ways, rather than ensuring accountability for their wrongdoings and making sure that the right thing is done.
Mark Golding, a leader of the opposition. Now, the Integrity Commission says it will hold a press conference once its latest annual report is tabled in Parliament. A chance, it says, for the anti-corruption body and its directors to answer questions from the media. The Commission says the briefing will deal with matters arising from its 2025-2026 annual report. It is to be held at the Commission's offices on Knutsford Boulevard, New Kingston. A date and time are yet to be confirmed, and the Commission says these will be communicated to the media later. The announcement comes amid opposition concerns over the non-tabling of the Commission's annual report last Tuesday. The Integrity Commission has not held a press conference since 2019. Opposition Senator Cleveland Tomlinson has accused the government of attempting to distract Jamaicans from the details surrounding the third country nationals' TCN's deal with the United States. Senator Tomlinson was speaking during the Admiral Town Divisional Conference in Kingston on Sunday.
What they have been doing is to use the distractions in the Parliament to distract you from the deportee deal. And we are saying we're not done with the deportee deal yet. There is more
The Gleaner newspaper broke the story about the TCN agreement signed between the government and the U.S. in June. The newspaper also published a follow-up article citing that a diplomatic note from the U.S. Embassy in Kingston stated that Efficiency Minister Ambassador Audrey Marks had proposed the controversial deal that would see Jamaica receive up to 10,000 TCNs. Minister Marks has since clarified that her proposal to the U.S. did not concern TCNs. Instead, she says her plan was to have undocumented skilled workers in the U.S. who are at risk of not receiving residency relocate and work in Jamaica. But as Senator Tomlinson says, Minister Marks' explanation has left doubt.
Let's listen to what Audrey Marks has said. She said that she went to that conference overseas to broker a deal to attract skilled workers to Jamaica. Comrades, that conference was a conference to deal with the issue of drug cartels. I don't know how you go to a conference to deal with national security issues and drug cartel issues and you end up proposing a deal about skilled migration and attracting skilled workers to Jamaica. It pours doubt on the accuracy of that story from Audrey Marks and the government.
Cleveland Tomlinson, opposition senator. Meanwhile, Tomlinson questioned why skilled workers would come to Jamaica.
I cannot see how skilled workers will leave high-paid jobs in the United States to come to Jamaica where we have low wages. I don't understand which qualified and competent worker in the United States will come to Jamaica for low wages. And if they're coming to Jamaica and they're not getting low wages, the question I would ask is why would you pay the foreigners more than what you would pay your own people in Jamaica?
Cleveland Tomlinson, opposition senator. State Minister Senator Abka Fitz-Henley is hailing the latest figures from the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF, which show that murders are down by 24% over the period January 1 to July 5 this year when compared to the corresponding period in 2025. The numbers also show that shootings are down by 27%.
No doubt, even as the 24% reduction in murders this year when compared to a similar phase last year is to be welcomed, it's a good opportunity to encourage all law-abiding Jamaicans to commit to redoubling our support for the security forces as they seek to finish the second half of the year strong. I think now would be a good time as well for criminal elements to understand that crime doesn't pay, and the administration, in partnership with the security forces, will not back down as we continue to pursue measures which have caused a major decline in murders over the past few years.
Minister Fitz-Henley says the decline in murders is a testament to the hard work of Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake and the men and women he leads in the JCF. He says the gains over the last 4 consecutive years are also due to the visionary leadership of the Holness administration. He adds that the government has been strategic in making massive investments, including in border security and improving the intelligence capabilities of the security forces.
The fact is, this is the 4th consecutive year in which we're seeing a sizable decline in murders during the first half of the year. And make no bones about it, the administration has every intention to ensure that this trend continues. Both the Prime Minister and Dr. Chang have been intentional about doing the research and crafting the right set of policies which set the foundation for these consecutive years of decline. The positive outcomes we are experiencing now reiterate that good policies matter.
Senator Abka Fitz-Henley, State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister. The 24% decline in murders this year means that as of Sunday, July 5, 87 fewer people were killed in Jamaica when compared to the corresponding period last year. To date, 275 people have been murdered in Jamaica this year, compared to 362 over the review period in 2025. There have been 102 fewer cases of shootings reported this year compared to last year. In 2025, Jamaica experienced a record 43% decline in murders. The police have issued more than 60,000 speeding tickets across the island within the first 6 months of the year. This was disclosed by Commanding Officer for the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, SSP Lloyd Darby.
We have a lot more tangible results from our enforcement activities. For instance, this year we have issued some 70,000 more tickets from January to now than we did last year. We had 300, we almost 400 tickets have been issued since the start of the year. And for speeding tickets, we have issued 66,000 plus speeding tickets, which is some 40-something thousand more than this time last year. So the enforcement continues. Enforcement is important because it changes behavior. It trains the motorists to expect that if they drive badly, then they'll get a ticket. And that will eventually change motorists.
Last month, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz announced that motorists with outstanding tickets must clear their records by September 30. It's reported that 1.1 million traffic tickets remain outstanding before the courts. To alleviate this issue, the Court Administration Division, CAD, is set to host traffic ticket public days in the corporate area. The event is set for Wednesday and Thursday at the National Arena. The CAD says more than 43,000 traffic tickets have been registered for the days. SSB Darby says efforts are being made by the JCF to improve road safety.
So we are trying to reach motorists in various ways, not just the traditional media, but we are on social media deliberately sending the message of road safety each week. And we just hope that with this continued effort, then we'll really see the change that we need, that we can have a much more safer society, much more safer roads.
SSB Lloyd Darby, Commanding Officer for the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch. He was speaking on the Jamaica Constabulary Forces, A Force for Good podcast on Sunday. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:18.
From the farmers in the fields, to the bakers who prepare it, to the teams that deliver every day, Juicy is built by Jamaicans. To our partners, thank you for standing with us. Juicy Patties, serious Jamaican food.
In regional and international news this morning, regional newly appointed chairman of CARICOM, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip Pierre, has restated that a priority of his tenure is to seek to have the impact of the body extend beyond the boardroom. He was speaking at Sunday's opening ceremony of the 51st regular CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in St. Lucia.
Across our region, our people are asking a serious and legitimate question. What more can CARICOM do for me? The question is not an attack on this community, but a genuine appeal for a solution. It's an appeal for us to accelerate the work of regional integration and to ensure that CARICOM is not only understood in conference rooms, communiques, and official declarations, but as a source of change in homes, schools, businesses, communities, and among our young people. This chairmanship, therefore, must belong not only to governments, but the people CARICOM is expected to serve.
Philip Pierre, Prime Minister of St. Lucia and Chairman of CARICOM. International, at least 18 people have been wounded after 2 explosive devices went off in the Syrian capital Damascus Tuesday as French President Emmanuel Macron visits the country. The explosions struck a busy area between the Syrian Tourism Ministry and the National Museum across the street from the hotel where Macron had spent the night. The first blast hit soon after his motorcade left for the presidential palace. Reuters footage showed flames and smoke billowing from the site as a second explosion was caught on camera a few meters away. Macron's office said he did not hear the explosions as he met the Syrian president soon afterwards. State news agency SANA says 4 police officers were among those wounded in the blasts. According to SANA, preliminary findings indicate that the 2 explosive devices were improvised. One was placed inside a vehicle parked along the roadside, while the other was concealed in a trash container. And that's it for regional and international news. Up next, sports.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall.
Up a total tools.
Weed whacker figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand.
Total tools.
We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option. Total Tools located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston. And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Time now for your morning sports. 2 more teams will be aiming to secure places in the quarterfinals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup when round of 16 action continues on Tuesday. In the day's opening encounter, defending champions Argentina will face Egypt in what promises to be an exciting contest. Kickoff is scheduled for 11 a.m. The second match of the day will see Switzerland take on Colombia at 3 p.m. Both teams have impressed on their journey to the knockout stage and will be eager to book the final remaining quarterfinal berth from this side of the draw. Football fans can catch all the action live on Nationwide 90 FM, which will provide comprehensive coverage of both fixtures. In yesterday's results, Spain clipped Portugal 1-0.
We might need extra time. It's brilliantly finished by the versatile Mikel Merino. No wonder in emergencies you can stick the midfield man up top, because that's what he does.
Meanwhile, Belgium beat the USA 4-1. Sri Lanka will resume on 92-2 on the final day of the second test against the West Indies in Antigua, holding an overall lead of 142 runs as they push to level the 2-match series. At stumps on the fourth day, Dinesh Chandimal was unbeaten on 40, while Kamindu Mendis was 30 not out, with the pair putting together an unbroken 60-run partnership for the third wicket after the early loss of 2 wickets. Earlier, West Indies were dismissed for 499 in reply to Sri Lanka's first innings total of 549 for 9 declared. Shai Hope made 112, bringing up his third test century in his last 4 matches. The standout performance of the innings, however, came from Justin Greaves, who produced a career-best 180. Greaves and Hope combined for a 242-run fifth wicket partnership. Scores in the match so far: Sri Lanka 549 for 9 declared and 92 for 2. West Indies 499. West Indies lead the 2-match series 1-0 after winning the opening test. Netball Jamaica has announced a strong 12-member Sunshine Girls squad for the 2026 Commonwealth Games scheduled to take place in Glasgow, Scotland from July 23 to August 2. Experienced defender and inspirational leader Shamira Sterling Humphrey has been named captain of the national team, while fellow internationals Latanya Wilson and Shanice Beckford will serve as vice captains. The Sunshine Girls will head to Glasgow determined to improve on their runner-up finish at the 2022 Commonwealth Games. Jamaica will once again be among the tournament's leading contenders as they seek to capture their first Commonwealth Games netball title. Joining the leadership trio are a blend of seasoned campaigners and emerging talent with Cadian Dehaney, Jodianne Ward, Crystal Plummer, Nicole Dixon Rochester, Bree Gerson, Abigail Sutherland, Rhea Dixon, Azara Wilmot, and veteran goal shooter Romelda Aiken George completing the squad. And that's it for eMorning Sports.
A voice you love returns home. This August, afternoons on Nationwide on air and online will never be the same.
From the biggest tracks to the biggest energy, Nationwide keeps it moving. If you love the vibes, come and lock in with us for real.
World boss, leave a prison could stop me.
Join the Nationwide 90FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Practice. God, me say you watch you over me practice.
In business this morning, South Korean technology giant Samsung Electronics says it expects to post a 19-fold jump in its profits, driven by global demand for artificial intelligence memory chips. The company forecasts it made just over 89 trillion won, or just over $58 billion between the start of April and the end of June, marking its third record quarterly operating profits in a row. Samsung said in the preview, known as earnings guidance, that it brought in around 171 trillion won of sales during the quarter, more than double the amount for the same period last year. The forecast, released on Tuesday ahead of its full results due later in July, comes as demand for semiconductors continues to outstrip supplies, which has pushed up prices. Major South Korean firms like Samsung release forecasts of their earnings ahead of official detailed reports to help guide investors. Microsoft has announced it has cut 4,800 jobs, roughly 2.1% of its workforce, with Xbox to bear a large number of its latest layoffs. Amy Coleman, executive vice president at Microsoft, told employees in a memo that the tech giant needed to focus on areas that can deliver for customers amid a fast-changing industry. The sweeping layoffs will see more than 1,600 roles immediately axed by Xbox, or at Xbox. Asha Sharma, who recently took over as Xbox's chief executive, said in a note to staff it was beginning the most significant restructure in Xbox history. She added that 4 Xbox game development studios, Compulsion Games, Double Fine Productions, Ninja Theory, and Undead Lab, would also be spun off as part of the changes. Another 1,600 roles will be reduced from Xbox as a result. Sharma said in a note shared on X that these changes are about a bigger future for Xbox, not a smaller one. And in foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar has gained $1.11 and will open against the benchmark US dollar, selling for an average $158.25. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican has lost 21 cents and will open selling for an average $112.70. And finally, the Jamaican has gained $2.14 and will begin trading for an average $209.19 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Apply today for your JUTC sub-franchise license. Operate legally, drive proud. Call 876-469-5326 for more information.
The time by the Jamaica Urban Transit Company is
6:30.
Yo, enjoy your Jamaica. UDC summer. A UDC summer, I don't know, sir, ding dong ravers. I mean, I tell you, say start in the 27th of June. Gather your friends, your family, the whole crew, and visit the world's famous Duns River Falls. You see, if 6 sound to go, the 6th person go in free. Start your first visit, collect your Duns River Falls passport, and go and collect some stamp. Can you see after your 5th visit, the 6th one will be free. And look out for UDC Summer Bonfire Saturdays. Check the press for details.
Morning after morning, you've made Nationwide 90 FM part of your routine. So let's take this connection one step closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club and be part of it officially on Patreon.
Family, I miss the family.
Every morning I rise, peace to my mind when I hail Rastafari. Knowing his eyes are an eye, Jah be my guide, I reside with the Most High. Even in a drought I no cry, these are the times when I hail Rastafari. Knowing that Jah will provide for I. I said he give it and he take it away. Understanding nothing is belonging to me. Earth will provide you with the necessity. They say simplicity is what we use in these days. And Rastafari prophesies there would be wars. Many possessions would be lost. What you live is what you leave with. So hold it close, it's the only thing that's yours. Cause every morning I rise, peace to my mind when I hail Rastafari. Knowing his eyes are an eye, Jah be my guide, I reside with the Most High. Even in a drought I no cry, these are the times when I hail Rastafari. Knowing that Jah will provide for I. Because we know Jah, we cannot walk away. Hearts of the lion is telling us not to stay far. Cause when it all passes away, to abide in your presence is the only thing I pray for. Cause it is beautiful to know storms all around and you safely guide the way home. Yes, your lights and in my load, keep me right there on the straight road. Every morning I rise, peace to my mind when I hail Rastafari. Knowing his eyes are an eye, Jah be my guide, I reside with the Most High. Even in a drought I no cry, these are the times when I hail Rastafari. Knowing that Jah will provide for I. Oh, I love I, you never forget. I live blessed, I don't you ever forget. I live low, I don't you ever forget. I live blessed, I don't you ever forget. Praying for bread, praying for a way to get through. Oh, all I wanna do, all I wanna do, yeah. All I wanna do is, all I wanna do is live a little, breathe a little, and go and enjoy life. Cause every more can make a mickle. Nobody watch it trickle, cause things so hard. All I wanna do is live a little, breathe a little, and go and enjoy life. Cause every muckle make a mickle. But I watch it trickle, cause things so alright. It's the pleasures and pressures of life we look down to, so try your best to make time for joy when the sorrows and pain of life sets on you. We both know that there is no choice, cause every lesson is a blessing, no stressing or guessing. Life is for the living, we know. We just live it to the fullest and let the good times flow. Cause all I wanna do is live a little, breathe a little, and go and enjoy life. Cause every muckle make a mickle. Nobody watch it trickle, cause things so alright. All I wanna do is live a little, breathe a little, and go and enjoy life. Cause every muckle make a mickle. Nobody watch it trickle, cause things so alright. Hey, I've been feeling a little frustrated. Yeah. Wanna enjoy life, yeah. Wanna enjoy, yeah. It's a whoa, yeah.
A very good morning to you. Good morning to you. You are tuned in to Nationwide this morning, NTM. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us in this space. It is NNN Radio Live, our YouTube channel. Hello to our family members out there in Radioland. Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm Tawna Thomas.
And my name is This. Overturn this.
Listen, what did you make of yesterday's matches? More so USA versus Belgium.
You sure you want to engage me in that right now?
Right,
we need a lot of time.
We'll talk about it later.
So look more when we have the time.
But can I just say before I go to my what's on my mind, George? Like in a space where there can be so much ugly, I am always happy when I see people extend kindness or push back against ugly. And of course, most of you know, but if you're new to the space, I am supporting the French team, France, for this World Cup. And yesterday, George, you saw the comment that was made by a senator out of Portugal.
Paraguay.
Paraguay. Very, very nasty comment, quite racist.
Yes.
And I thought, my God, you have no shame.
Yes.
To get up and think about something like that,
yes,
and then use your little fingers and type it. And then when you type it, you didn't consider, well, let me delete this and move along with my day. You decided to post it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I did on my social media yesterday, I did post Bappe's response.
Yes.
And I did post a statement as well from the Paraguayan government reacting to what the senator posted, rejecting what she said and said, listen, this is not how we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to read, before I go to my what's on my mind, what Bappe said. He posted saying, Madame, whatever her name is, you are a despicable woman and unworthy of your position. You do not represent Paraguay, the country which has sweated passion and honor throughout the competition. Through your reckless and brazen racism, the entire world has already forgotten the journey and the historic effort that your players accomplished during this World Cup, taking away from their moment. And he said that she's an incompetent woman who gives the worst possible image of her country. I will never allow people like her the freedom to spread their hatred and racism across the world. And I thought that was classy, properly put on social media for folks to see, and he's getting a lot of support for it.
As he should.
Yeah. Turning my attention now to matters here at home in the What's on My Mind segment. So on my mind this morning, George, listeners or YouTubers, there are some teams in the World Cup, George, that play with a certain level of urgency, like France. No time to waste. each team member cracks on for the 90-plus minutes with one thing in mind, and that's scoring goals. And I'm saying that to say this, George and listeners. I'm just wondering if in Jamaica now, with certain aspects of the Hurricane Melissa response or recovery, if, George, every arm of the state or every authority figure is playing their part with a certain level of urgency. And I'm referring specifically to the aspect of the recovery that has to do with housing or housing aid. All the people who lead these regulatory processes, as they like to term them, are you moving with urgency? Procurement people, are you moving with urgency? Verification people, are you moving with urgency? Roofs Program Reconciliation Team, are you moving with urgency? Members of Parliament and other political representatives, are you moving with urgency? Line ministers, are you moving with urgency? The executive, are you moving with urgency? Is everybody, George, running their leg of the relay or the race with a level of urgency that it requires? Is everybody passing the ball with urgency that it requires so that we can get to the goal of disbursing well-needed funds to roofs beneficiaries and setting down container homes for those other beneficiaries under that aspect of the program? Because it's now July, 9 months since Hurricane Melissa, and still you have hurricane victims under tarpaulins. For those of you who heard the plight of Marlene Campbell in our newscast yesterday, I hoped you felt as uncomfortable as I did. The guilt certainly washed over me, George, because I'm sitting in a comfortable apartment. I'm sleeping in a comfortable bed. There is a fan, well, two, one in the ceiling and a standing fan. I have a TV. I can watch the football game. There is water in my fridge. There's juice. All of those things that's going through my mind, and I'm looking at my surroundings. And then I'm looking at this video of this woman who seems to be a senior. And for 9 months, this is her circumstance. And she explained it quite well for those of you who were not watching on YouTube. So you were hearing her sound bites from that story that was done by Mahiri. Under a tarpaulin, sleeping in a rocking chair in Springfield, St. Elizabeth. And she has sought help from her MP. But on this day, it's what, July 7, help under the Roofs program has still not reached Miss Campbell. The last thing she said, or that she was told, is that she should exercise some more patience. But any reasonable person with a sound conscience would agree that 9 months after a hurricane, it's insensitive to come back to a hurricane victim living under a tarpaulin and sleeping in a rocking chair at nights and ask them to exercise some more patience.
Yeah.
According to Ms. Campbell, the MP is aware of her plight. Was this brought to the attention, for example, of the Ministry of Labor, from MP to Ministry of Labor? And is she a confirmed Roofs beneficiary? Our producer here, Michelle, told us that the Ministry of Labor was doing their checks to find out. And if it is that she is, why hasn't the benefit reached her hands yet so that she can fix her circumstances or assist with her circumstances? If she wasn't captured in phase one, no, if she is not a beneficiary, she wasn't captured in phase one, we were told months ago, George, I think it was from April, that there would be this reconciliation phase of the Roofs program, sort of like a mop-up exercise. So those that, for whatever reason, they were missed out of the first phase of roofs, they would now be captured. What is happening with that? April, May, June, now it's July. What is happening with the reconciliation phase to capture somebody like Marlene Campbell in Springfield, St. Elizabeth, in Northwest St. Elizabeth, who is still sleeping under a tarpaulin in a rocking chair for 9 months? What happens to Miss Campbell and others, that because she said it's not her alone, when it rains, the time hot now? What happens in a situation like that for a Hurricane Melissa victim? Unconscionable to ask them to exercise more patience. So this morning I'm wondering, is everybody running their leg of the race, playing the ball how it's supposed to be played with a certain level of urgency? You talk about regulatory processes that you have to go through to ensure this is done properly and that is done properly. Those people who are supposed to be pushing the paper, signing off on this, doing that, are they doing it with a certain level of urgency? Are they waking up, George, eating and breathing the ROOFS program, the reconciliation phase of the ROOFS program, eating, breathing, and sleeping the modular housing solution program in a way that says, listen, it's 9 months, I'm driving across Jamaica, I'm seeing people still sleeping under tarpaulin. All I'm seeing is blue and a rocking chair and collapsed houses, and I don't feel comfortable at the end of the day when I head back to my apartment, to my house, to my family, and know that I'm sleeping in a comfortable bed tonight under my AC or my fan with cool water in my fridge, and that is not the circumstance of somebody else who is a victim of Hurricane Melissa. So I want to know this morning, where is the ministry with the reconciliation phase of the ROOFS program? And how much effort is being placed into that to ensure that the benefits can be expedited? We were told, George, that they would get to the phase now where it's no longer a system where you get the grant, then you have to go to the hardware store and tell the hardware man what you want. It's now going to be cash disbursements. Where are we with that? And it's Miss Campbell and the others in St. Elizabeth and elsewhere a part of that reconciliation phase. Again, is everybody playing their part to contribute to a level of urgency that is required to get benefits into the hands of those who are in need? As we rush now, it has to be a rush, a level of urgency to place dignity back into the space of those who have lost it. Now, I heard the Land Titling and Settlements Minister, Robert Montague, providing an update yesterday regarding the modular housing solutions, and he disclosed that the construction and assembling phase has begun in Western Jamaica. What I think now is that a comprehensive update on the program is necessary, because there are several elements to this container home program that I think requires an update. Have all 2,500 beneficiaries now been verified? The last time Minister Montague was with us, George, he told us that 2,100 had been verified. He said the number is 2,500. What's the update on the other 400? He also told us that 1,400 plus bases, rather container homes or modular housing solutions, were here in country. What's the timeline on the other 1,000 arriving? He said in the coming months, but I think I want something more concrete at this time as we seek to get people into housing, into shelters. And what of the grant disbursement aspect for persons who will construct their own bases? And when will that get underway? Because how it sounded yesterday was that the government is constructing some of the bases, but we were told that persons would also be given grants to construct their own bases. What's the update on that? And how many bases will the government construct? And what's the timeline to have all those modular homes handed over to persons who are in need? I continue this morning to have a difficulty in how updates are being given for both the ROOFS program and the container homes program. And in the absence of timely, I'm using the keyword timely updates, what you have, for example, are folks calling nationwide, myself, I don't know if anybody has called you, George, to ask questions, and unfortunately we don't have the answers. That's just it. We don't have the answers about whether them they're on the list and when this I go hand out and when that I go hand out. We don't have the answers. We don't have all the answers. And the folks who have all the answers, you need to provide timely updates to the people who need the answers. For example, a week later, we're being told that construction and assembling of the modular houses are taking place. Why we didn't know that last week? Why the folks who really need to have that information didn't have that last week? And when you have such a situation like that, what it creates is misinformation, disinformation, getting in the ears of the homeless Jamaicans, many of whom have simply run out of patience. I suggest this morning that the government has a space. I like to talk about spaces. The government has a space, George, and that space is post-cab. Use the space. Whatever information that you have that's going to be a proper update for folks who need the information, give it to your information minister. Dr. Dana Morris Dixon makes herself available every Wednesday. And she can also call on the line ministers to make themselves available too, to come to Jamaica House and provide an update. Please do that so we can fill the information vacuum. That's what's on my mind.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness works to ensure the provision of quality health services and promotes healthy lifestyles and environmental practices for all Jamaicans. The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
6:50.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
29 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
In minutes, you're covered with Scotia Protect. In minutes, you're covered with Scotia Protect. It's the best you can get, and you won't have to fret. Oh no, no long forms, no long waiting, just a few clicks, no time wasting. Get coverage for your home and auto, quick, no hesitating. With Scotia Protect.
Get home and auto insurance online in minutes with Scotia Protect. Powered by GK Insurance. Visit scotiaprotect.com today. Terms and conditions apply.
A Voice You Love returns home. I gotta tell ya. This August, afternoons on Nationwide, on air and online, will never be the same.
Time now for Street Smarts 1 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, George and Tona. Good morning.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
And for all our listeners, it's bright and sunny. And can you imagine? Normally, there are certain roads you see a lot of traffic, and things have changed in a significant way. What's happening here on the Boulevard Malines intersection, you can move freely if you're coming from Malines, heading straight across to Malines, Seaward Drive, Malines, Malines Walter, Malines Cassia Park, and as a matter of fact, coming through Red Hills Road, you go make it onto Cassia Park Road, go straight across to Walton Park Road. You're going to find it really free-flowing. New York Avenue normally has traffic, but it's really free-flowing at this time. And then when you go across the Keysing Avenue and then try to make it onto Ellsworth Avenue to go across to East Road and all those areas, it's really free-flowing at the moment. And going up Hadley Park Road, it's also free-flowing. So it's a fairly good Tuesday morning where the vehicle movement is particularly good at this time. So until about 7:20, it's back to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow, there with Street Smarts 1. Up next, Word of the Day.
Your word of the day is spelled METATHESIS, METATHESIS.
Metathesis. Metathesis. Metathesis.
Metaphysis is your word of the day. It means the transposition of letters, syllables, or sounds in a word, as in the pronunciation for comfortable or for ask. Metaphysis is your word of the day. It can also mean chemistry, metaphysis, and let's use it in a sentence. But first, dictionary.com telling us that the word was recorded between 1530 and 1540. Metaphysis. So young children often use metaphysis when they learn to talk, like saying piscetti instead of spaghetti. Metaphysis is your word of the day. Don't know if you have reason to use this one, but it's spelled again, METATHESIS, metaphysis. Up next, your features at the top of the hour, the news.
Last time on Food for Thought, we introduced you to the low FODMAP diet. FODMAP stands for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols, which are short-chain carbohydrates, sugars that the small intestine absorbs poorly. Some people experience digestive distress after eating them. Symptoms include cramping, diarrhea, constipation, stomach bloating, gas, and flatulence. You will recall that low FODMAP is a 3-step elimination diet. First, you stop eating certain foods, high FODMAP foods. Next, you slowly reintroduce them to see which ones are troublesome. And once you identify the foods that cause symptoms, you can avoid or limit them while enjoying everything else worry-free. Today we are looking at low FODMAP foods you should include in your diet if you have irritable bowel syndrome. It can be overwhelming to eliminate all high FODMAP foods in one step. But remember, this step is short-term. And there are plenty of low FODMAP foods you can enjoy now to get you ready for steps 2 and 3. Fruits. Some fruits contain high amounts of sorbitol and fructose, which are monosaccharides and polyols, the M and the P in FODMAP. Pick up these fruits for low FODMAP alternatives: cantaloupe, grapes, kiwi, oranges, pineapple, and strawberries. Low FODMAP vegetables. Some vegetables contain oligosaccharides or polyols, which can irritate a sensitive gut. Pack your kitchen with these easier-to-digest veggies: bell peppers, pak choy, carrots, cucumbers, eggplant, green beans, lettuce, potatoes, tomatoes, and zucchini. Low FODMAP dairy alternatives. Many dairy products contain lactose, which is a disaccharide. Try these options instead: almond milk, lactose-free milk, oat milk, and soy milk, made from soy protein, not whole soybeans. Cheeses, brie, and camembert. Low FODMAP protein options. Meat marinades and sauces may contain various FODMAPs. Legumes, beans, and pulses are also high in oligosaccharides. Power up with these low FODMAP proteins instead: eggs, firm tofu, plain cooked meats, poultry, and seafood. Use herbs for flavor, but avoid garlic and onion and tempeh. Low FODMAP bread and grains. Many common breads and grains contain oligosaccharides, but you can avoid them if you choose breads that don't contain wheat, barley, or rye. Corn, oats, quinoa, rice, and sourdough spelt bread. Low FODMAP sweeteners. Steer clear of artificial sweeteners commonly found in sugarless gum, mints, and products labeled sugar-free. Satisfy your sweet tooth in moderation with these low FODMAP options: dark chocolate without high fructose corn syrup, maple syrup, rice malt syrup, and table sugar. The low FODMAP diet is part of the therapy for those with IBS and SIBO. Research has found that it reduces symptoms in up to 86% of people. Because the diet can be challenging during the first, most restrictive phase, it's important to work with a doctor or dietitian who can ensure you're following the diet correctly, which is crucial to success and maintaining proper nutrition. That's it for Food for Thought. Until next time.
Fearless and fair, Nationwide 90 FM.
Formal and informal channels are created intentionally by management to achieve the organization's goals. This is Lifestyle Pages on formal and informal communication channels. Advantages of formal communication are more effective when an organization is consistently going and achieving its goals, which builds bridges in communication, prevents bogging down of formal lines. Our channels of communication are well defined and clearly communicated to all employees at all levels. It prevents top management from being bogged down with too much trivia and idle gossip. Managers know what top management or the owner, such as an entrepreneur, needs to hear and know. Formal channels are designed to meet specific needs, helping to monitor the company's activities and ensure that problems are resolved. Formal channels of communication create a good atmosphere that reflects professionalism. Formal lines of communication help to consolidate and strengthen the organization and keep management personnel in control. I'm Valerie, and those were Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Distracted driving costs lives. Keep your eyes on the road and arrive alive. The time brought to you by the Jamaica Information Service is
7:01.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news today, Tuesday, July 7, 2026, government says construction on modular houses promised to people left homeless by Hurricane Melissa is underway. Opposition leader suggests the Integrity Commission has more reports to publish about the embattled minister, Dr. Andrew Wheatley. Government Senator hails the latest figures showing murders are down by 24%. And in international news, 18 wounded in Damascus bomb attack during French president's visit.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The government says construction has begun on the modular houses promised to those Jamaicans left homeless by Hurricane Melissa. The opposition has questioned the delay in the distribution of the houses. Minister with responsibility for land titling and settlements, Robert Montague, gave the update on Monday.
I can confirm that the work on the basis for the container housing solution has commenced. Work started last week in Western Jamaica, and as the minister that has oversight, I was scheduled to go down last Wednesday to actually do a launch, but I had some other commitments that came up suddenly, and we have scheduled to go later this week, and the members of the media and the public will be advised because we have other announcements to make with regards to that project.
The government says about 1,500 of the units are now in the island, with another 1,000 due to arrive by the end of July. It says it expects handing over in the coming weeks and months as enough bases are built and houses assembled. The government blames the earlier delays on global shipping problems around the Chinese New Year and other logistics constraints. Montague says these issues have now been fully resolved.
The project is ongoing and will be rolled out in phases because we are following the guidelines and the guardrails, governance guardrails that are set out in law. And as we try to strike that balance between the urgency of building out the units and abiding and observing our governance guide laws, we ask for patience and understanding. But we do have units in the country, in Western Jamaica. Bases are being built and more units are being shipped as we schedule our shipping space.
Robert Montague, Minister in charge of land settlement and land titling. The Integrity Commission says it will host a press conference once its latest annual report is tabled in Parliament, a chance, it says, for the anti-corruption body and its directors to answer questions from the media. The Commission says the briefing will deal with matters arising from the 25-26 annual report. It's to be held at the Commission's offices on Knutsford Boulevard in New Kingston. A date and time are yet to be confirmed, and the Commission says these will be communicated to the media later. The announcement comes amid the opposition's concerns over the non-tabling of the document last Tuesday. The Integrity Commission last held a press conference in 2019. This is the first of several investigative reports by the Integrity Commission. That's the claim by Opposition Leader Mark Golding about the reason the Prime Minister has not removed Dr. Andrew Wheatley from Cabinet. Golding made the claim while addressing comrades at the Admiraltown Divisional Conference in Kingston on Sunday.
The Prime Minister is trying to tough it out, trying to ride it out, hoping that it will be a 9-day wonder. Why is this, comrades? Well, it is because he knows that this is the first of several, and what happens in this case is going to influence what happens in the rest that are to come. And he himself is a subject of a very serious investigative report with allegations of all kinds of irregular financial dealings, which the Integrity Commission said should be referred to the FID, the Financial Investigation Division, which investigates financial crimes, because there was certain information that they were seeking from Andrew Holness and he was not willing to provide them. And so they couldn't take the matter to its conclusion. And that matter is now in abeyance.
The Integrity Commission has recommended that Dr. Wheatley be charged with 4 offences in relation to his statutory declarations between 2013 and 2022. The Commission alleges that his assets are disproportionate to his earnings to the tune of $164 million. Among the offences are illicit enrichment and making false statutory declarations. Following the tabling of the report, there have been growing calls for him to resign from Cabinet or for the Prime Minister to sack him. Among those making the call are the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, the Jamaica Umbrella Group of Churches, and the National Integrity Commission. Dr. Wheatley has consistently denied the allegations and is challenging the Integrity Commission's ruling in court. Golding told comrades in Admiral Town that the opposition will continue to apply pressure.
What we see is the labour rights. Their tactic is to try and tie the matters up in court, but we will continue to apply the pressure. We will continue to bring this matter to the minds of the public on a constant basis, because we know that what is going on is wrong. What is going on is not good for Jamaica. What we have is a corrupt regime holding power in Jamaica now, manifesting its corrupt practices and trying to cow down the people and distract the people in various ways, rather than ensuring accountability for their wrongdoings and making sure that the right thing is done.
Mark Golding, opposition leader. Opposition Senator Cleveland Tomlinson has accused the government of attempting to distract Jamaicans from the details surrounding the third country nationals' deal with the United States. Senator Tomlinson was speaking during the Admiral Town Divisional Conference in St. Andrew on Sunday.
What they have been doing is to use the distractions in the parliament to distract you from the deportee deal. And we are saying we're not done with the deportee deal yet. There is more to come, and the Andrew Holness-led government must come before the people of Jamaica and be honest with us about what they have signed to and what they have agreed with the United States government.
That's Opposition Senator Cleveland Tomlinson. He was speaking in Admiral Town on the weekend. State Minister Senator Abco Fitz-Henley is hailing the latest figures from the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF, which show that murders are down by 24% over the period January 1 to July 5 this year when compared to the corresponding period in 2025. The numbers also show that shootings are down by 27%.
No doubt, even as the 24% reduction in murders this year when compared to a similar phase last year is to be welcomed, it's a good opportunity to encourage all law-abiding Jamaicans to commit to redoubling our support for the security forces as they seek to finish the second half of the year strong. I think now would be a good time as well for criminal elements to understand that crime doesn't pay, and the administration in partnership with the security forces will not back down as we continue to pursue measures which have caused a major decline in murders over the past few years.
Minister Fitz-Henley says the decline in murders is a testament to the hard work of Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake and the men and women he leads in the JCF. He says the gains over the last 4 consecutive years are also due to the visionary leadership of the Holness administration. He says the government has been strategic in making massive investments, including in border security and improving the intelligence capabilities of the security forces.
The fact is, this is the 4th consecutive year in which we're seeing a sizable decline in murders during the first half of the year. And make no bones about it, the administration has every intention to ensure that this trend continues. Both the Prime Minister and Dr. Chang have been intentional about doing the research and crafting the right set of policies which set the foundation for these consecutive years of decline. The positive outcomes we are experiencing now reiterate that good policies matter.
Senator Abka Fitzenley, State Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister. The 24% decline in murders this year means that as of Sunday, July 5, 87 fewer people were killed in Jamaica when compared to the corresponding period in 2025. To date, 275 people have been murdered in Jamaica this year, compared to 362 over the review period in 2025. There have been 102 fewer cases of shootings reported this year compared to last year. In 2025, Jamaica experienced a record 43% decline in murder. The police have issued more than 60,000 speeding tickets across the island within the first 6 months of the year. That's according to Commanding Officer for the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB of the JCF, Senior Superintendent Lloyd Darby.
We have a lot more tangible results from our enforcement activities. For instance, this year we have issued some 70,000 more tickets from January to now than we did last year. We had almost 400 tickets have been issued since the start of the year. And for speeding tickets, we have issued 66,000 plus speeding tickets, which is some 40-something thousand more than this time last year. So the enforcement continues. Enforcement is important because it changes behavior. It trains the motorists to expect that if they drive badly, then they'll get a ticket. And that will eventually change motorists.
In June, Transport Minister Daryl Vaz announced that motorists with outstanding tickets must clear their record by September 30. It's reported that 1.1 million traffic tickets remain outstanding before the courts. To alleviate this issue, the Court Administration Division CAD is set to host traffic ticket public days in the corporate area. The event is set for Wednesday and Thursday at the National Arena. The CAD says more than 43,000 traffic tickets have been registered for the days. SSP Darby says efforts are being made by the JCF to improve road safety.
So we are trying to reach motorists in various ways, not just the traditional media, but we are on social media deliberately sending the message of road safety each week. And we just hope that with this continued effort, then we'll really see the change that we need, that we can have a much more safer society, much more safer roads.
SSP Lloyd Darby, he's the commanding officer for the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB. He was speaking on the Jamaica Constabulary Force's A Force for Good podcast on Sunday. To regional news now. Newly appointed chairman of CARICOM, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip J. Pierre, has restated that a priority of his tenure is to seek to have the impact of the body extend beyond the boardroom. He was speaking at Sunday's opening ceremony of the 51st regular CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in St. Lucia.
Across our region, our people are asking a serious and legitimate question. What more can CARICOM do for me? The question is not an attack on this community, but a genuine appeal for solution. It's an appeal for us to accelerate the work of regional integration and to ensure that CARICOM is not only understood in conference rooms, communiques, and official declarations, but as a source of change in homes, schools, businesses, communities, and among our young people. This chairmanship, therefore, must belong not only to governments, but the people CARICOM is expected to serve.
Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia and the chairman of CARICOM. International news now. At least 18 people have been wounded after 2 explosive devices went off in the Syrian capital Damascus on Tuesday as French President Emmanuel Macron visits the country. The explosions struck a busy area between the Syrian Tourism Ministry and the National Museum across the street from the hotel where Macron had spent the night. The first blast hit soon after his motorcade left for the presidential palace. Reuters footage showed flames and smoke billowing from the site as a second explosion was caught on camera a few meters away. Macron's office said he did not hear the explosions and that he met Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa soon afterwards. Syrian state news agency says 4 police officers were among those wounded in the blasts. According to SANA, preliminary findings indicate that the 2 explosive devices were improvised. One was placed inside a vehicle parked in the roadside, while the other was concealed in a trash container. The French Court of Appeal has upheld Marine Le Pen's guilty sentence on embezzlement charges. The French far-right leader was convicted by a lower court of embezzling European Union funds to pay party staff, resulting in a €100,000 fine, a 4-year prison sentence, of which 2 years were suspended and 2 to be served at home while she wore an electronic tag, along with a 5-year ban from holding public office. On Tuesday, the appeals court confirmed the fine and ordered 3 years of imprisonment, with 2 suspended and 1 year with an electronic bracelet, by reducing the period she's barred from public office in effect to just 15 months, as 30 of the 45 months are suspended. She could still run for the presidency. They've left the ball in her court, but Le Pen, in her own words, has said she will not run under those conditions. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:15.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho-Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
29 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
A voice, a personality you love returns to Nationwide this August. Afternoons on air and online at Nationwide will never be the same.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning again, Ludlow.
Morning again, George. Still bright and sunny. Some serious clouds above and little nimbus, but nevertheless, you driving through after leaving Hagley Park Road, going through O'Mara Road, then onto Chisholm Avenue. You'll be surprised again. It's good movement, good vehicular movement from Chisholm Avenue going out towards Maxfield Avenue. It's really good. Even going through the Richmond Park community, Montgomery Avenue, Queens Avenue, all of these areas are really good. Vehicles are moving freely. Lyndhurst Road is the same thing, and going down towards Slipe Road, Slipe End Road, also good vehicular movement. So it means that the schools really make a difference. So and all after that, when you leave down that side, heading all the way to downtown, you're going to find the movement good. If you're on East Street, so far it's really good all the way down to connect with Port Royal Street. And looking at Harbour Street, yes, there's a bit of traffic coming up from Water Lane to Harbour Street, but nevertheless, you can move freely at this time. So it's not too bad for a Tuesday morning, but I can tell you that maybe later after this report, you will have more traffic in this downtown area, especially on Harbour Street, because Portmore carries a lot of traffic onto Marcus Garvey Drive, and then from there, the traffic will build accordingly on Harbour Street. So there we go, our second report, as usual, at Street Smart. Your safety is our concern. Over to you, George.
Thank you, Lord Lolo, there with Street Smart 2. Up next, front page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned in to our discussion segment, The Front Page. We turn our attention to that resident, Marlene Campbell, out of Springfield in St. Elizabeth. Campbell was one of thousands of Jamaicans in St. Elizabeth who faced the brunt of Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. Her home was effectively reduced to rubble by Melissa. When the system passed, what was left was a roofless shell of a house shielded by tarpaulin with all walls missing. The Springfield resident living in the house of her mother, who passed just weeks before Melissa hit, told our news center that her mom's rocking chair has been her bed since October 28 last year. And Miss Campbell joins us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Nationwide.
How are you?
Oh, I'm holding up, trying to go through life each day under the circumstances that I am surrounded by.
And even though we provided a description, if you could just provide us with some more information this morning, Miss Campbell, about what life has been like since October when Hurricane Melissa passed.
Oh, it has been horrible. It has been devastating, as I've been saying from day one, because we never expect the hurricane to come in the way it did. We knew a hurricane was coming, but we here never expected that such a devastation was going to come through this district. So we were not even prepared. Although we were prepared mentally and psychologically, we were not prepared for the hit that came on us here in Springfield.
And just explain for us again the damage that your home suffered.
Oh, the entire living room is torn down completely. The veranda is gone. The pillars that held up the roofing on the house is completely gone from the veranda. The entire structure of the house, it's a 3-bedroom house, and the entire structure of the house is completely shaken, cracked up. The entire roof of the house was lifted off completely. All windows are gone. Doors are gone from the house. The tank that catches the water, that holds the water, the top of that is completely gone. Devastation all around. Livestock, lost livestock, and agricultural stuff completely gone.
Mm-hmm. And explain for us as well the living conditions since then.
I am in my bathroom from the night of the hurricane. There was nowhere else for me to go because I'm so happy and lucky that my mother actually decked the bathroom. It was not zinc. So that's what actually saved me. So on the night of the hurricane, that was my only place of shelter because of the decking. And I could not lie in a bed because the rain for the entire day, everything was underwater. Everything was on the ground. All the ceiling, everything was all over the place. Branches from trees was in the house. So there was nowhere else for me to go except in the bathroom. My rocking chair, the rocking chair that my mother had in this house and still does, which is what I'm sleeping in, was my only source of bed that night and still is until today, because I cannot until today lay down a bed to stretch out on because the house is still leaking. Although it is covered under tarpaulin, the tarpaulin has to be lapped over onto each other to accommodate the roofing because the living room is torn down. The tarpaulin cannot stretch out the way it's supposed to, so it has to be set a certain way. So water is still coming in. Every time it rains, water comes into this house from every angle.
And it's just you, or do you have any other family members around?
Yes, I have family members, but they're not here. I'm the only one here right now in this spot right now, but they are close by. I have a family member that is close by, but I'm the one here in this spot, holding down everything and trying to get everything back up as normal as possible.
So they haven't been able to render any sort of assistance to you outside of putting on the tarpaulin?
No, So because they have their life to live and their own expenses, so far nothing has come in. And my family member, they all know that the government has actually offered us help. And promised us to help us to recover. And until today, all of us are waiting for that help.
Tell us about that promise.
Oh, yeah. Minister Hutchinson came in right after the hurricane and had a meeting, and he told us that for them to get the proper information, a 5-people committee has to be formed immediately. And that was done when he came in. And I was one of the 5 because I actually volunteered and I asked someone to nominate me in the 5-member because I said to myself, I want to have an idea and the experience to see what really happens when these things happen in this country. So I was one of the 5, and I went around. I was the JP for the area was nominated as the head of the committee. So we were given areas to work in. So 2 of us were put together to control certain areas in the district, and we went out and we walked house to house and gather all the information on all the housing that got damaged. Every single person in here, because everyone in the district was damaged. Every single person was destroyed. No one was saved. People's houses were torn down to the ground. People had to run to people's houses for shelter. People had to move into people's house for help. I mean, the only people that were actually saved in this district were the houses that were decked. But anyone who had on a zinc roofing on their house or any other form of roofing was completely taken off and destroyed.
So the information that you were asked to go around and gather of the persons affected by the hurricane, Ms. Campbell, that information was going to be sent where?
When I inquire where it went, I was told it is going to send to the government agencies.
And what did they tell you was going to happen afterwards?
Well, what we expect to happen is that it's going to go through the process, and then the money is going to be released to us, probably through the MP or through other agencies of the government. That's what we expect to happen.
Did they say what program specifically? For example, was it the roofs program? Were folks going to benefit from a container house? Did they say what exactly you would be benefiting from?
Oh, definitely roof. Definitely roof. Mr. Hutchinson said we're going to get help with all our roofs. As a matter of fact, he said in the meeting that morning, he said he knows that we are going to go ahead and try and patch up what we can patch, the roofing and stuff, to be able to have a shelter over our heads. But he said regardless of that, he said the government is committed to help every single person that has been hurt by this hurricane. He even went further to say, he said, this is not a political meeting I'm having here. He said, everyone is going to get help, whether you're JLP or PMP. He said, every single human being that has been hurt by this hurricane is going to receive help.
And when is it, or when was that submission done of the names of persons affected?
We started our job immediately after the meeting that day, and the committee was formed. I started my work immediately. I started to move through the neighborhood, and I started to collect in all the data from every house. And
so that was just after the hurricane in October, or would you say early November? When did you gather that information and submit it?
No, that was in January, after the hurricane, in the new year. It was picked up.
And you made that submission in January. What have you heard since?
Absolutely nothing. After I dropped off, I called the JP and told him that I completed my assignment, and he told me to bring it down to him. So I met him at the health center and handed all information over to him. After that, I waited. and I waited, and I thought within myself that maybe a couple of weeks to a month, maybe we'll start to get some answers and changes. And we waited, and absolutely nothing. A matter of fact, the agricultural side of the whole devastation, all that data was collected that day at the health center by J.P. Stewart. And everyone that was at the meeting gave over their information with all the damages that happened with them. So that information was taken up exactly that day. And until this day, absolutely nothing has come in to us from the agricultural end to help us to recover, with agricultural losses that took place here. Same thing with the housing. Absolutely nothing. A few people though has received their money here, and when I count to see the amount that I know that collected, it's under 10 people that I know so far that has gotten their money. Everybody else that I've spoken to, them say, no, sir, we're still waiting for the government. And everybody right now is still upset. People in this district, the district of Springfield, is very upset right now. We're all upset because we cannot believe that this is taking so long, that it is dragging on so long. And no one, absolutely nobody, is giving us any information. So I waited and I waited with everyone waiting, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to head up into Santa Cruz to NIS office to find out what is really going on. So I head up there, and when I got there, one of the staff, I stopped him and spoke to him and told him what is happening. He took my TRN from me, went inside the office, and he came back and said to me that I must wait on a message from Sagicor Bank. And I left NIS Santa Cruz that day a little happier because I said to myself, okay, the process has started, and, I'm now on the list, because the bank is now going to channel the money to me. And I waited. From that day, I've been waiting on a message from Sagicor Bank. I received absolutely nothing. And I'm talking about now in May of this year. And I decided, I waited. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No message. Every morning I get up, I check my phone. Every night before I go to bed, I'm checking my phone to see if during the day I missed the message. Absolutely nothing. So I got up 2 weeks ago, and I went into Black River to Sagicor to find out what is really going on. Why is it that we're sitting and waiting so long for this help that we were promised? And when I got to Sagicor Bank in Black River, the staff there took my TRN again, run it in the computer, and he looked at me and he said, Miss Campbell, your name is not here. Your name is not on no list here to collect anything. And I said, what? He said, there's nothing here with your name attached to it. And he said to me, he said, it's best you go back to NIS in Santa Cruz and speak to them there.
Miss Campbell, hold it right there. Hold it right there, Miss Campbell. Let's take the break and come back with more from you.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, what we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good.
Jamaica, stop the killing and give up the guns. Just live good now.
The time brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace is
7:33.
A voice you love returns home. This August, afternoons on Nationwide, on air and online will never be the same.
From the biggest tracks to the biggest energy, Nationwide keeps it moving. If you love the vibes, come and lock in with us for real.
World boss, leave a prison could stop me.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Practice. God, me say you watch you over me practice.
Speaking with Marlene Campbell, a resident of Springfield, who says that she's still waiting on assistance from the government despite submitting the relevant information months ago and being she says she's been given the runaround when she's been checking with various arms of government to find why she hasn't been given the assistance and when it is coming. Ms. Marlene, you said that when you went to JN, they said you were to go back to NIS. What happened after that?
Oh, yes. I took a taxi from Black River because I decided I'm not going to come home without having clarity of what is going on. So I jumped in a taxi from Black River straight into Santa Cruz, and I went to NIS office. And when I got in, I sat down because people were also there waiting. Other people from other parts of this country was also there waiting for answers. And I sat down, and it just so happened that the very same staff who told me to wait on the message from Sagicor stepped in. So I went straight to him, and I told him, I said, listen, I'm coming right now from Sagicor Bank in Black River. They told me that my name is not there, that I'm not on no list for anything. And I said to him, what's going on here? I'm confused. And he said to me, he said, lady, you just have to wait.
So hold on. What list did he look on at NIS to satisfy him that you needed to go to Sagicor in Black River?
Well, apparently there is a list at NIS in Santa Cruz, or a computer that have all the information. Because remember, NIS came into Springfield. After I went around with the 5-member people that went around and collect the data, the housing data before, after that, NIS came in to Springfield.
And did their own assessment?
And did their own assessment and took pictures and took in all of that information in. So all of that information was taken into NIS. Right? So that is
And your information was included in the NIS capture?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. My information was included in that, in the information that was picked up that day.
What happened after he told you to, boy, you just have to wait? What happened after that?
I was shocked and I was confused. I said, wait, and I started questioning him. I said, wait, how much longer am I supposed to wait for? I said, I've been waiting. We have been waiting. How much longer am I supposed to wait for? I said, how can you tell me? Give me a timeline. Tell me how much longer are we going to wait for? He said, I can't give you any answers. He said, I don't know. You just have to wait. And he started to get upset. A matter of fact, when he sat down and he started to get really irritable, and he said to me, he says, your name has been on the list in the first batch of people from in February. And he says, your name was on that list. I said to him, I said, wait a minute. If my name was on the list in the first batch of people that the checks were released to, how come until this day I have not received a text message, a phone call, or a check from anyone? I said, how can that be possible?
Yeah.
And my name was on the list with the first batch of people. He said, lady, I can't answer you. I don't answer to that.
Question for you. Stick up in. The people in Springfield who you say got their checks, the 10 people, those 10 were assessed by you as well?
Yes.
And they were assessed by NIS as well?
And NIS as well.
So those 10 are that 10 assessed by you, and you gave the information to the JP and assessed by NIS, and that 10, those people got the checks.
Yes, they received their money. People are now rebuilding back their houses. My neighbor in front of me right here has received their money and is now rebuilding.
So I'm happy you said that, because there was a confusion there, because I thought that nobody in Springfield had gotten any checks. So you're saying some people have gotten checks and have started to rebuild?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I said to you about 10 to under 10 people received that I know.
How many more are waiting, including yourself, you think?
Oh God, a lot more people. I mean, majority of the people.
Give me a number now, because you did the assessment and I want some numbers. About how many more?
Based on what I'm seeing, I would say around under 100 people, could be 80 people still waiting,
right,
because the district is a lot of people are here, and the district is a very big district.
Yeah.
Springfield is not a small district.
Yes.
It's very big, and it laps over into other districts.
So the other question then is, Miss Marlene, then if some get, why the majority don't get, is what you're asking as well?
This is a question I'm also asking, George, because I'm saying I don't understand the system.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the formula
Yes.
that the government is really using to actually disperse the money to us, because this formula is very confusing.
Yes.
Because some is collecting their money,
Yeah.
and then others are just
The
registering.
overwhelming majority based on your numbers. Now, tell me something. Just locate it for me. Where exactly is Springfield? Is border Clarendon, Manchester? Is in Clarendon? Is in where is it?
Springfield is in the middle of Newmarket and Wyeth Falls and Seaford Town. We're dropped right into the middle.
So your MP is Andrew Morris.
Andrew Morris, yes.
Right. I noticed you said J.C. Hutchinson. You call him Minister Hutchinson, but he doesn't have a cabinet portfolio now. But he's the one who organized a meeting with you, J.C. Hutchinson.
He was the one that organized the meeting because he's a former minister.
Yeah, man.
Former MP.
Yeah, man. Former MP.
Mhm.
So I say that to ask, what role has the current MP played?
The current MP came in after the hurricane, and he brought in a few stuff for us. He brought in some water, and he brought in some tarpaulins, and I'm not sure if he brought in any food because I didn't receive any food package. But I received a case of water, and I received a tarpaulin the night when he came in, and that's it.
Right. I was going to ask you, the tarpaulin that you say cover your house now, who gave that to you? You bought that or what?
No, these tarpaulins came in through the help of kind-hearted people.
Yes.
One of the tarpaulin I received, which is a small tarpaulin, I got that from my MP, Mr. Morris.
Good.
Andrew Morris.
And the food, how the food that you've had since the disaster struck, you buy it out of pocket or you depend on donations again?
People came in, kind-hearted people came in
Yes.
and donated food. And let me tell you, we were so happy and grateful when we saw people coming in and giving us food because they knew what happened. People knew what happened to us.
All right, walk with me now. I'm interested in the role that the JP who you gave the information to played, because the information that you submitted based on the assessment that you participated in, and then you say NIS came and did their own thing. I'm wondering if one list took precedence over the other, and maybe some of you who haven't gotten benefit yet weren't captured on one list. I'm trying to work it out. Where the JP said he was going to submit the information you gave him to.
When I inquired about the data that I collected, that we, the 5 people, went around and collected, I was told that it went straight into the government agency.
Which one?
I am not clear which one. I'm not clear.
Okay.
It could have gone into NIS. It could have gone to Ministry of Labor. I'm not sure where it landed, but
Yes.
it landed somewhere.
Yes. All right. So that's another thing. All right. How long ago, remind us, how long ago you had that conversation with the fellow at NIS who said, boy, you just have to wait? How long ago was that?
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm. And from the point of you submitting, after you submitted the information to the JP that you had collected, how soon after that did NIS come and do their own assessment?
The NIS, about, I would say another 2 months, the NIS was here.
Oh, another 2 months. Because what I'm trying to get at, is if the 10 people who've gotten assistance already, if they were on your original assessment list or they were on NIS assessment list.
They were on both.
They're all right. They're on both. So the big question is, how come some get and the overwhelming majority don't get? Did you ask them? Did they get their checks from a bank? Did you ask them, or did the NIS send it to them straight? How did they get their funds? You must have friends where you could have asked that question.
I think some of them collected the checks from NIS, and some people mentioned hardware to me, hardware where they go and pick up the stuff. I didn't dig too deep to find out exactly where the checks.
But Miss Marlene, I suggest you should have done that, because you should have known the route that they took and then walk that route and say, well, how come them get through this route and I don't get? So what prompted you to go to NIS in the first place, if not some of those people who got telling you that, boy, at NIS will go and get the check?
Because NIS George was the one who came in and pick up all the data after I did. And NIS is the place that I know that everything was going to be used as a foundation here.
Right. And you see, Ms. Marlene, is not pressuring you, but I want to know who to pressure on your behalf. Because if NIS is the place that 10 people got from, or the majority of 10, then they will have to answer and tell us, well, what the devil is holding up the overwhelming majority on that assessment list from not getting.
Well, George, that's a very good question because, as I said, we here in Springfield are very confused also about the process, and that is why I said before, I am not sure. We're really confused.
You asked Mr. Morris, when was the last time you reached out to his office to ask him to clarify on your behalf or to make representation? When was the last time you asked him?
I have been right after the data was collected and went in. I spoke with him on the phone one morning and I asked him, I said, Minister, how much
You keep saying Minister is MP. What? Go on. We know what you mean.
Right. And I said, how much longer is it going to take for us to receive the grant, so that we can start to rebuild our lives?
Yes.
He said to me on the phone, he said, Ms. Campbell, you just have to be patient. You just have to have patience and you just have to wait.
All right. So that was several months ago, but I'm saying now, how recently did you speak to Mr. Morris?
Recently, again, I sent him a text message via his WhatsApp page. I have not spoken to him.
When was that, Ms. Campbell?
The 10th of last month, I sent off a message to him.
June 10.
On his WhatsApp page.
And you didn't get no response?
No response. He has not answered me. Absolutely nothing. When I spoke to him, he told me the day that he was going to schedule a meeting to come in and have a meeting with us here. When that was happening, it was raining here for days. We were having rain, and the meeting has to be cancelled. That meeting took place around 2 weeks ago here, and I wasn't aware of the meeting because I was told by people here that NIS people is going to come in again to collect up the same data again from us to find out who has received money and who have not received the money. I said to the person that day, I said, listen, I have no more time to waste because so far it's two different set of information has gone in for us to collect our money.
What
and I'm not going to wait.
Those who went to that meeting 2 weeks ago, what do they report as having happened at the meeting? What them tell us happened at the meeting?
When I spoke back to the person, because when I realized it was the minister that came in and had the meeting, and I said to the person, what was discussed in the meeting? The person said, nothing. The person said they did not mention anything about the money. They said him talk about chickens and helping people to restore their life with some chickens and some other stuff. And I'm like, what about the money that we're supposed to receive? Nothing.
Based on your, I don't know if you had done a little assessment yourself on your home. How much money you think it's going to cost you to put the house back in order, the building?
This is going to cost me around $10 million, George, to put back together.
Yes.
Based on what I'm seeing, because the houses have completely been destroyed by the hurricane. I was told that what I'm going to get, based on the fact that the walls were not torn down completely to the ground, the walls are still standing up, that is a $200,000 mega get.
Yes.
George, that cannot help me.
Yes.
That cannot even.
Yeah, that can buy enough zinc to fix up. So what do you do to generate income, Ms. Marlene, if you don't mind me asking?
I am a therapist, George. I'm a massage therapist.
Yeah.
I was trained, I'm certified, and I am living in an area which is a farming community.
Yeah.
So I have some goats, some livestock. Which, some of the goats were killed. Majority of the goats that I had were killed in the hurricane, but a few were left alive.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I have to be leaning on right now to survive.
Hold the line for me, Miss Marlene. We're going to talk to you some more after the break.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
7:49.
Hawkeye is protecting homes, businesses, and communities with trusted security solutions. The temperature by Hawkeye, securing what matters most, is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
This station raised me. It gave me a voice. And if Nationwide has ever meant something to you, come on in. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back. Marlene Campbell is from Springfield and she's in the constituency of Northwest St. Elizabeth, the constituency represented by Andrew Morris for a long time. It was represented by William J.C. Hutchinson, and Hutchinson stepped aside ahead of the last election, and Morris is now the man in charge. Question for you, Ms. Marlene. You would agree that you have regular WhatsApp conversations with Mr. Morris?
Not regular, but when I call him and I get through to him, because many times I call and I can't get through because he's extremely busy.
Yeah.
I understand that because he is the MP.
Yeah.
But when I do get through, we speak, yes.
Yes.
And as I said, the last conversation we had was when I asked him, when are we going to...
And he said that was June 10.
No, June 10 was, I have not spoken to him in June at all.
He said the WhatsApp on June 10.
That he hasn't responded to.
Right.
Okay.
I sent him a WhatsApp message and he did not respond at all to that.
And I want to establish, Marlene, just how much attention he has given to your situation. So has he helped you to, buy food, clear any debts, anything like that in the time?
No, Nationwide, absolutely not, no help of such sort. Absolutely no.
Mm-hmm.
No. He hasn't even called to inquire. That's why I said he promised to come in and have a meeting. And I thought that all of these things were going to be addressed in the meeting and to come around and even at least walk around in the district as far as he can walk and see what is really happening in the district. He has not done that. And I wanted to be at the meeting that he was scheduling, and I did not get a chance to go because I did not get the message for the meeting. I don't know if it came in and I did not check, but I never got that message. But as I said, the information I received when I saw the lady passing, the neighbor passing to go to the meeting, she said it is the NIS team that is coming back in to gather up the same information again to find out who has received from who have not received. And I said to her, I said, listen, I have no time to waste today.
Yeah.
Absolutely none.
So here we are now. And you have come forward with this story. I mean, this story has been making waves since we aired it in the news yesterday. And you're here this morning again. The whole country is listening to you now, right? So here we are. I asked before the break about how much it would cost you. You say about 10 million to get the structure back and in good order. And that the grant, you understand, is about 200,000. And you say, boy, I mean, in context, that really can't do much, but you're expecting it, yeah? And you say that you're a therapist and you have a few heads of goat remaining. You do any other kind of farming?
Not right now. Not right now. I'm cleaning up, some land here to try and do some farming. Nothing has happened
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah, and you say that not only on the housing side are you still waiting for assistance, but you and others like you in the community who are farmers, the farming help hasn't come yet either.
Absolutely nothing, George, because this is what people really live off in this district, farming. That's the livelihood of the people here in Springfield and their livestock. And people were really happy the day when the information was taken up immediately by the JP when Mr. Hutchinson came in, because we thought that things were going to roll in fast for us to start to recover back.
Yeah. In terms of day to day, so you said initially the food that you got, kind-hearted neighbors and good people who came in assisted. How do you survive day to day now? Who is it that helps you with food and such?
I have some very good friends in my life that I have to lean on right now for help. And they are the ones that actually bracing me right now. But it is also difficult for them.
Yes.
Right? So it is a struggle, George. It is really a struggle.
And you say that the conditions in which you are living now, none of your family members are in any other better position to offer you shelter and accommodation now?
No, they can't.
So the problem we have this morning is this. Your information, if we go by what you say, your information collected by the authorities, collected twice, because you collected it, say, you participated in the collection yourself, and then the NIS came. A handful, relatively speaking, of people from Springfield in northwest St. Elizabeth, a handful of people have gotten assistance. The overwhelming majority, according to what you know, haven't been assisted. You say the MP is reachable by you in sometimes, but you haven't gotten the communication with him that can allow you to ask the questions about where the process is that would satisfy you about where the process is. Am I correct?
That is correct, George.
Yes. And on the farming side, you're all majority of you are farmers in Springfield. Even if you have other jobs, you're still the farming.
Right.
You say nothing on the farming side.
Absolutely nothing. 2 whispers came through to me from 2 people here, and they came to me, they saw me, and they said to me, they said, Marlene, did you hear that some things came in through RADA to be delivered to us so that for our farming help? And they said, we hear things came in to be distributed. And I said, no, I did not hear them say, yes, we were told that things came in, and we have not seen anything. We not seen nothing. Nothing at all is delivered to us. We have not, George, received absolutely not even 1 grain of anything.
No fertilizer, nothing.
Nothing from RADA. RADA have not come in here and distributed nothing to us.
All right. So, Miss Marlene, you, as I said, you're on the platform. So we need to hear Michelle. We need to hear from Andrew Morris, the Member of Parliament for Northwest St. Elizabeth. We need to hear from the people at the Ministry of Labour.
Yes.
Who manage this leg of the relief. I don't know if I want to drag the person in charge of the NI office yet, because they would pay and provide assistance based on the resources they get. So if they don't get to pass on, I don't think they'd get and hold on to it, but who knows. But this is for so long, and again, if we're to go by what you say, Marlene Campbell, some people have a handful get.
A handful, George.
Then
That I know, George, that I know. Because remember, there are adjoining districts as well.
Yes.
Right? And I don't know what is happening there, because I have not really had the time to walk and inquire. Because we're trying to live from day to day here, try to recover. But people that I know that is right here in this district, a few that I've spoken to, and I hear that, oh, that person received. And when I approach them say, yes, I have gotten. But a lot of them get what they received, and then still grumbling and say, boy, this can't even help me.
So my producer is telling me in my ear now, Marlene, that the Ministry of Labour, their communication team, they've reached out to say they are checking to see if your benefit was approved, what is the quantum of the benefit, and even more important than that, what is holding up the delivery of a check to you. So before the show is over, we should get an update on that. We'll try for that. All right, but we're out of time this morning.
Thank you so much, George. Thank you, Nationwide, for this.
Thank you. You're welcome, and we'll check back in with you. And we've sent your number to everybody who has a role to play in this thing for them to get in touch and for them to do their checks. So let's see what happens. And it's not just for you, it's for the other people in Springfield who have been assessed, but who have been assessed and are waiting, yes?
Yes, George. I'm speaking out because I am not the only one who is waiting and I'm still being hurt by this. I'm speaking on behalf of everyone that is still waiting.
Hear you on that. Thank you this morning. All the best.
Thank you so much again.
All right. Marlene Campbell there, resident of Springfield in Northwest St. Elizabeth. The struggle is real. This sounds, this doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah.
It's time for Hot Listings, Nationwide 90 FM's on-air classifieds, made for quick ads and fast results.
Escape to a stylish one-bedroom retreat in the heart of Kingston. This modern suite offers comfort, tranquility, and 24/7 security. Enjoy premium amenities including a swimming pool, rooftop lounge with panoramic city views, and ample parking. Located 30 minutes from the Norman Manley Airport and major attractions. Call us today at 876-796-9744 or visit us on Instagram at charmingsuite_Airbnb for booking details. Start planning your perfect getaway today. Choose the Charming Suites at the Vineyards.
Visit Priority Plus Healthcare in Gutters Old Harbor. We offer general checkups, blood tests, minor surgical procedures, ECGs, urgent care, and more. Call 876-550-6036. Priority Plus Healthcare, caring for you every step of the way.
That was Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM. Listings start as low as $1,500. Call 876-630-1210 to book yours today.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
The time by Grace Good Move is
2 minutes after 8.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
And across Jamaica this Tuesday morning, July 7, 2026 in Manchester, Mandeville Regional Hospital is reporting that it has completed 300 anteriovenous fistula surgeries over the past 5 years. The procedures are used in patients with, or the procedure is used in patients with a chronic kidney disease. It involves creating a connection between the artery and a vein, typically in the forearm or arm, providing the vascular access required for dialysis treatment. The hospital says AV fistulas are widely regarded as the preferred access option because they're more durable, carry a lower risk of infection, and generally result in fewer complications. It says many patients are now able to access the procedure closer to home, as prior to the establishment of the service in 2012, patients in southern Jamaica had to travel to Kingston to undergo the procedure. As the main referral hospital serving southern Jamaica, Mandeville Regional provides dialysis services to some 200 patients each year. To meet the growing demand, the hospital maintains a dedicated weekly operating schedule for AV fistula procedures. The police have issued more than 60,000 speeding tickets across the island within the first 6 months of the year. This was disclosed by Commanding Officer for the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, SSP Lloyd Darby.
We have a lot more tangible results from our enforcement activities. For instance, this year we have issued some 70,000 more tickets from January to now than we did last year. We had 300, we almost 400 tickets have been issued since the start of the year. And for speeding tickets, we have issued 66,000 plus speeding tickets, which is some 40-something thousand more than this time last year. So the enforcement continues. Enforcement is important because it changes behavior. It trains the motorists to expect that if they drive badly, then they'll get a ticket. And that will eventually change motorists.
SSP Lloyd Darby, commanding officer for PSTEB. He was speaking on the Jamaica Constabulary Forces, a Force for Good podcast on Sunday. Last month, the Transport Minister Darrell Vaz announced that motorists with outstanding tickets must declare their records by September 30. It's reported that 1.1 million traffic tickets remain outstanding before the courts. To alleviate this issue, the Court Administration Division, CAD, is set to host traffic ticket public days in the corporate area. The event is set for Wednesday and Thursday at the National Arena. The CAD says more than 43,000 traffic tickets have been registered for the days. Finally, in across Jamaica, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is reminding eligible students and healthcare professionals that applications for the 2026 Dr. Barry Wint Memorial Scholarship Program will close on Friday, July 10. The ministry is encouraging all qualified applicants pursuing studies in health-related disciplines to take advantage of the opportunity to receive financial support for their education while contributing to the future of Jamaica's public health system. Named in honor of former Chief Medical Officer Dr. Barry Wint, the scholarship program reflects the government's commitment to strengthening the country's healthcare workforce by investing in the education and training of professionals in priority health disciplines. Successful applicants may receive up to $1 million Jamaican dollars per year of study and will pursue studies in priority areas including medicine, dentistry, nursing, allied health, child and adolescent health, geriatric health, health information and informatics, health policy and planning, and biomedical engineering. Scholarship recipients will be bonded to serve within the public health sector for a stipulated period upon completion of their studies. Now, prospective applicants are invited to visit www.moh.gov.jm/scholarship to review the eligibility criteria and submit their applications before the deadline. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Tuesday morning.
Win with KFC, big league, join the league. Win a trip to Brazil, all you mean? Yeah. Big deal, meal deal, big match. Just buy KFC and win that. From now until July 20th, 2026, buy a big deal or meal deal for a chance to win a trip for two to Brazil. Courtesy of KFC, plus $500,000 cash from Best Dressed Chicken. 11 weekly winners score free KFC for a year. 65-inch TVs, smartphones, and more. Just WhatsApp your receipt to 876-784-7811 to enter and win big in the KFC Big League. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Motorists exiting the Angels to Kimanas leg of the Edward Siaga Highway are reporting a standstill in traffic going all the way back to the toll collection booth. So massive traffic pileup. And they say it's because on the roadway tractor trailer has jackknifed. So the road is blocked because the truck with the trailer jackknife cutting off passage. So that's the reason. If you're stuck in the traffic and you're wondering what the devil is happening, that's what's happening. A tractor trailer jackknifed on the roadway and has backed up traffic from the Angels to Kimanas exit at the Edward Seaga Highway all the way back up to the toll collection booth. And at 8:09, you can imagine the misery out there at this time. All right? We have been successful in finding the Member of Parliament for Northwest St. Elizabeth, Andrew Morris. He joins us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, George. Is that Miss Michelle?
No, man, it's Tona.
Yeah, man.
Michelle is my producer, though.
Hi, Tona.
Hi. Welcome to Nationwide, MP Morris. Now, we had on Marlene Campbell, one of your constituents, earlier, talking about her situation, saying that it's been several months and she hasn't received any help under the ROOFs program and that she had sought intervention from you on the matter. I want to hear from you. What did you hear from her and what intervention, if any, did you make on her behalf?
Okay, so I met Miss Marlene after the hurricane, and I can recall visiting her community. I'm not recalling vividly seeing her, but I did interacted with a number of residents there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have provided support in that regard during that year. I am aware that there are some persons who have not received their roof grants and are still waiting. And currently, I've been working with them and the ministry to see how best we can speed up that process so that the others who are still outstanding can get theirs.
You say, sorry, Tona. She's been saying that based on her information, MP, only about 10 of more than 100 people who were assessed, and she says she knows the number because she participated in the initial assessment and she gave that information that she collected, herself and a small team, to a justice of the peace who was handling the data collection on their behalf, on the behalf of the government. She says that based on her information, only about 10. Can you say if that share of those who've received a check already is correct, or more people than what she knows have gotten assistance from the government?
Well, remember, no, I don't have the data that the government has like that. But based on my feedback, the feedback I'm getting from the community, more persons would have received than the 10 that she spoke with. But I do know that a number of persons are still in waiting because I would have met with them as recently as maybe about 2 weeks ago, and they would have expressed to me, and I would have collected their information, and I'm currently working with the ministry to see how quickly we can expedite that. Because the issue we're having, George, is that some of these residents, when the assessment was done, they either have wrong TRN numbers, incorrect phone numbers, and so on. So I would have reached out to some of them personally to say that, listen, based on my check with the ministry, your grant is ready, so you should go up and collect it. They couldn't collect it as the number, their telephone number is incorrect. So these are some of the issues that we are having, while some are still waiting to collect their grant.
And all right, I understand the data issue and the as you said, TRN numbers incorrect sometime, telephone number missing a digit here or there. But is it reasonable, MP, that for so long, since Melissa, that the people should still be waiting for the assistance? Is it reasonable, given all of the things that have affected the data collection and transmission process? Is the wait reasonable, you think?
The truth is, sometimes, George, even when I reflect on it, yes, I know that they are waiting because I see and I know the conditions under which some are waiting. And when you have to live like that for a day, it's really a bad thing. So one day, sometimes a year for some people living in that kind of situation. So what I would say is that not having knowledge and intimate knowledge of how the process is handled, I am not really in a position to give a timeline on when we have at least completed. But what I'm able to say is that I would really prefer to know that many of these persons received their grants already.
Based on what Miss Campbell knows, and again, Miss Campbell is just one resident. She emphasized that based on her information, only 10. And based on your feedback, they are your constituents after all. So you get reports from people about where MP may get the thing, MP may don't get the thing. Would you say that the overwhelming majority of those who were assessed have been given checks? Is it about 50-50, those who are still waiting versus those who have not been given? What's the balance? What's the split between those who have received and those who are still waiting based on your best information?
So that's a very good one, George. But like I said, because I had a meeting with them, and then you know that if you don't have a root issue, then you're not going to turn up at the meeting. Right? Most of the persons I met with were the persons in need of agricultural support and support for their roof.
Yes.
So I managed to interact on with maybe about, I would say maybe about 35 persons who were probably at that meeting. And at that meeting, they would have expressed to me that a number of them still in the waiting. Some received who were at that meeting, but the majority who came to the meeting are still in the waiting. So if I were to use that, I would probably say it's about maybe 60-40.
Meaning 60 still waiting, 60% still waiting. Again, based on what Ms. Campbell said, MP, NIS went back into the community. Did NIS go back to do the kind of reconciliation that you spoke about at the top? Meaning they're trying to get right phone numbers, they're trying to get right TRN for the people who submitted. Is that what they went back for?
Yes, that is what is taking place now. Because in a neighboring community, the team was there just last week, and even in another section of the constituencies were there. Because I collected the information too, and I'm in dialogue with the manager senior. Right, and I'm providing her with data in terms of where we're having issues, and her system too, her data is also informing her as to where some of the issues are.
Is there any, based on your best information, MP, is there any difficulty in getting the funds from the Ministry of Labor or even the assistance from the Ministry of Agriculture? Because what I want to establish is this. If the hold-up is on the Labor Ministry or the Agriculture end, or the hold-up really has to do with the wrong information or incomplete information that some people have submitted, where's the bottleneck?
I personally think where the bottleneck is at is the incorrect information.
So the ministries, none of the ministries holding up the process based on your best information?
No. As it is now, I'm speaking to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, because remember, I would have gotten support from the Agricultural Ministry, and I would have met with the farmers to determine who is in greater need, because the resources not gonna be as such that you can just
that everybody can get. Yes.
So you have to now move in and be tactful in ensuring that the most needy persons get.
Then on the agricultural side, all right, but hold on the agricultural side, and I take the point that water more than flour, yes? But she says that based on her best information, nobody no get nothing for agriculture in Springfield. I find that difficult to accept. Is that so?
No, that is not true. No, that is not true. Person would have received agricultural support, but maybe she's not aware of it. Yeah.
And agricultural support in the form of what?
In the form of fertilizer, in the form of even if next door in Ginger Hill, I'm aware that they receive pineapple suckers and so on. So I know they had a session there with the farmers as well. That's rather.
Yes.
The team team has been moving around and providing support.
All right. At 8:19 a.m. on this Tuesday, July 7th, the 7th of the 7th, 2026, Member of Parliament Andrew Morris. For those in Springfield who are still waiting on the roof grant, still waiting on the little agricultural assistance, what are you saying to them this morning, these constituents of yours?
What I'll say to them is that in terms of the agricultural support, that will come. I'm expecting that by Friday of this week, that they will be able to get access to those support by this Friday. In terms of the support for their rooms, I am saying to you that, like I said to you in the past, that I'm working with Mr. Charles and his team to see how we can expedite that process. I know the wait is long, but I'm working with people so we can get that process get done. Because the information, I can provide some information in terms of what is correct, what is incorrect, but the team is out there as well, and they are doing the work. They were in Next Door Prospect, and I spoke to her about a session in Newmarket, and she's also working on that. So I'm expecting a call by today, into tomorrow latest, to tell me that from Thursday they will be in Newmarket to ensure that that gets done. So all the persons in Springfield, Woodlands, Kilmarnock, Johnson, Bloomsbury, all those persons can no, not Johnson, because Johnson would have been addressed already, but the persons in Green Valley and so on, Roxhall, they can come now to Newmarket for the verification process, because once the verification is done and the ministry is satisfied that the data collected is correct and true, and we're not issuing money to persons who not deserving of it, then I know Minister and his team will move quickly to ensure that it gets done.
In this time when, I mean, every MP in the affected communities, their phone burns up every day, and that's to be accepted because people want information. Why are you so hard to reach, MP?
I would not say that I'm hard to reach, because even Miss Campbell, who I have been communicating with, we have communicated on several occasions. And based on my recollection too, even yesterday.
But she said she sent you a text message 27 days ago and you don't respond. She said June 10, 30 days in June, 7 days in July. She said 27 days ago a text message or WhatsApp and you don't responded.
Correct. Because when I checked, that is correct. But that is one WhatsApp message. All other WhatsApp messages from Miss Marlene I would have responded to. And you know that sometimes in responding to these messages, it takes me sometimes 3 hours, 3.5 hours to respond to every single message. I try to do that every evening, late evenings, but then one can slip you. And Marlene knows my number because she would have even visited at the office before. We sat down, we spoke. And based on my recollection, we have even worked on initiatives before concerning her. So, in terms of support for her directly. So, I would not say I'm difficult to reach at all.
Yeah.
No. I agree that sometimes my constituents are not aware that on a Tuesday I'm in Parliament, and sometimes on Wednesdays and Thursdays I have committee meetings in Parliament. And they may not aware, and they might call at different intervals. But I try to respond to everything to take.
For those who have gotten the assistance on both the roofs side and the agricultural side, can you stand where you are this morning or sit where you are this morning and tell the country that nobody who has received has done so because of political considerations?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none. Because remember, this is bigger than politics, George. This devastation would have affected the entire western side of the country and more so northwest St. Elizabeth. I cannot tell you of a single section of the constituency that was damaged more than the other. So that is how devastating it was. And so I could not politicize in any way, shape, or form in the way in which my office provides support to constituents. Because when you go out, you don't see color. When a man is under a tent, when a man is in need of food supply or whatever it is, you don't see color. This is somebody who I would have either attended school with or know his relatives. It is far beyond politics, George. There's no way. No politician could do that, especially at a time like this.
Yeah. Anyway, so the time is up. So Miss Campbell, who's at the front of the line because she's come to the public, both herself and the rest of the people, you're saying that the agricultural assistance should come by Friday, they should have access to it by Friday of this week, and that you are on the phone with Pernell Charles and company, seeing how you can reconcile the discrepancies in the data that's collected so that they can get the grants for the roofs by next week or thereabouts, is what you're saying this morning.
Correct.
All right.
So they can expect to hear something, because I have the data as well, because I went there. I have the data. And we're going to see how quickly now we can expedite the process. And I'll personally reach out to Miss Campbell, because I have her number, and we have spoken on several occasions.
Yeah.
It's not the calling well. Even up until yesterday, she called me, and I returned the call.
All right, sir. Hear you on that. We'll check in with you next week. Thank you this morning.
Thank you so very much, George, and to all your listeners. Thank you. Thank you,
Andrew Morris, the Member of Parliament for North West, St. Elizabeth, who's under some pressure.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:26.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 27 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
A voice, a personality you love returns to Nationwide this August. Afternoons on air and online at Nationwide will never be the same.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
You have been with this program long enough to know I take data protection seriously. Not as a compliance exercise, as something that happens to real people when organizations decide the rules are optional. And over the last few years, as Jamaica and the wider Caribbean have moved forward towards real data protection law, I have watched organizations treat the new obligations the way they treat most inconvenient truths, with meetings, with frameworks, with the appearance of compliance. The Jamaica Data Protection Act is in force. It gives people rights over their personal information. It creates real obligations for the organizations that hold it. And it creates a role, the Data Protection Officer, whose job is to make sure those obligations are actually met. What the Act does not do is guarantee that organizations take that role seriously. What it does not tell you is what happens to the person in that seat when the organization decides it doesn't. That is what we are exploring over the next 12 weeks. We have created a drama grounded in real law, real professional practice, and the real decisions that define the difference between a DPO with authority and a DPO with a title. The character at the center of it is Renee Sinclair, newly appointed, 90 days, one organization with more secrets than systems. Everything that can go wrong, and some things that shouldn't have been possible at all. The law you'll hear is real. The scenarios are drawn from documented practice. And the question this show keeps asking, who actually benefits when the data protection officer cannot do anything? I think you already know the answer. This is just putting it on the table. This is the first 90 days as a DPO. Let's begin.
In 90 days, I am going to be locked inside a room I was never cleared to enter, a hard drive going warm in the palm of my hand, listening to security take the stairs 2 at a time and understanding far too late that everything they taught me on day 1 was the exact lie that walked me in here. That's the end. I need you to start where I did. The morning it began. The morning I was happy. Badge, lanyard, certain the hard part was behind me. The hard part hadn't been built yet. They were still building it. They were building it for me. Day 1, Meridian Group, data protection officer, a lanyard, a mug that said welcome aboard, and no idea I'd been hired to fail. I want to tell you I walked in nervous. I didn't. I walked in sure. 29, qualified on paper, and absolutely certain of one thing. The system works if you follow it correctly. Learn the rules, keep the records, escalate on time, and nobody can touch you. I believed that the way other people believe in Jesus. I had a notebook with 3 colored tabs and a plan for my first 90 days. I actually thought 90 days would be enough to finish.
There she is. Best hire I've made all year, honestly. Lanyard, mug. The mug's important, HR insists.
Adrian Cole, Chief Growth Officer. He'd pulled my file out of the pile himself, and I wanted, more than I'd admit to you or to me, for him to be right about me.
You're going to unlock so much value in this place. Everything we've got just sitting there, waiting for someone tidy.
Tidy. I heard a compliment. I should have heard a job description.
Everyone, 30 seconds. This is Renee. She's our new data protection officer, which means when the regulators come knocking, and they will, we're that big now. She's the reason we will be able to sleep at night. Make her feel at home.
So, you're the new privacy person. Brave.
Brave?
I just mean, it's a lot of house to keep tidy. We move fast here. Growth waits for nobody. The last one who had your job didn't really work out. Nice though. Serious like you.
What happened to them?
Honestly, no idea. 1 week they were here, then the org chart just closed over the space. Anyway, welcome. Don't rock the boat too hard in week 1.
I filed that under office gossip and forgot it for exactly 48 hours. Write that down as the first thing I got wrong.
Renee, perfect. Quick one. We're going to start collecting customers' ID numbers for the new service. National ID, the full number. We're allowed to do that, right?
I'll log the request and come back to you.
It's a yes or no. You're the privacy person.
And there it was. The exact term sitting on my tongue. Lawful basis. The thing that decides whether you're even allowed to hold a piece of data in the first place, not whether it's useful, whether it's permitted. I knew where the form lived. I knew who to escalate to. I did not know the answer. In front of the one man whose good opinion I'd walked in wanting. It depends what you're relying on to collect it. I'll confirm the basis and put it in writing.
So, a maybe. Great. Very reassuring.
She'll get you a proper answer. That's what she's for. Relax. We're not taking anything off anyone. We're unlocking value that's already just sitting there.
He said it like a favor. He said everything like a favor. And the law does not care how warm the room is or how tidy your process is. If you're holding data, you've got no lawful basis to hold. That was the first minute I understood the job was bigger than me, and the first minute I let it show. So I did what I always did. I went to the source. If they were already collecting ID numbers, there'd be a record of why. A purpose, a basis, a lawful reason written down somewhere. There always is. That's the rule. ID numbers. Fine. Beside them, dates of birth we'd never asked for. Phone locations we had no reason to keep. A field just labeled household. Another labeled risk. And I didn't want to know how a person earned a number in a column called risk. The machine was collecting things nobody could tell me the purpose of. collecting more than it could ever justify, and had been for years, quietly in the dark, the way a cellar fills with water. I did the thing they train you to do. I built a little table in my head. Purpose on the left, lawful basis on the right. For every column the machine held, I tried to fill in both boxes. Marketing consent. Maybe if anyone had ever actually asked. Fraud prevention. A stretch, but a story you could at least tell out loud. And then row after row after row, where both boxes just stayed empty. White. Patient. Health. Location. Household. Risk. No purpose you could say to a person's face. No basis you could point at. Just held, because holding was easy and deleting was work, and nobody in that whole gleaming building had ever once been paid to do the work. I kept looking for the sentence that made it lawful. There wasn't one. Not buried, not misfiled, absent. And a database that has no lawful basis to exist isn't a mess you tidy. It's unlawful. Full stop. I was 3 hours into the job, and I'd found a room in the house with no floor, and everyone was walking across it like it was solid ground. Like I was the strange one for looking down. I told myself, this is what the role is for. So I wrote the charter, the page that says what a DPO is actually allowed to do. It's not a formality, it's the difference between a watchdog and a mascot. I gave myself the 3 things the role is supposed to have. Independence, nobody above me editing my findings. A direct line to the top, over Adrian's head if it came to it. And the power to halt a process I couldn't sign off. I read it back. It read like a spine. I sent it up clean, and I felt, God help me, proud. It came back approved in 11 minutes. I actually smiled, and that's the part I still can't forgive myself for. Then I saw it. 1 line. Gone. The power to halt. Not refused, not flagged, not argued. Deleted surgically like it had never been typed by someone who'd found it in 11 minutes because they had been waiting for me to write it. And in the margin, where the only real power I'd given myself used to be, 1 word, in a hand that wasn't mine. Noted. Somebody had read my spine, reached in, and taken out the 1 bone that lets you stand up, and sent it back to me, smiling. And I was supposed to say thank you. On paper, I was independent. Someone had just decided, very quietly, which paper I got to keep. I went home that night and told myself it was a clerical thing. A tidy-up. Somebody in legal trimming a junior's overreach. Here's what I'd tell that version of me now if the map worked in both directions. They didn't forget to give you power. They gave you a title instead of it. And the person who does that to you on purpose has already thought about the day you'd notice and made a plan for it. You are the plan for it.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Rebuild with standards, rebuild with confidence. Test your blocks, concrete, cement, aggregates, and other building materials at the Bureau of Standards Jamaica. The BSJ, building a nation, test by test. The time by the BSJ is
8:38.
A voice you love returns home. This August, afternoons on Nationwide on air and online will never be the same.
Win with KFC Big League. Join the league. Win a trip to Brazil, oh you mean? Yeah. Big deal, meal deal, big match. Just buy KFC and win that. From now until July 20th, 2026, buy a big deal or meal deal for a chance to win a trip for 2 to Brazil. Courtesy of KFC. That's $500,000 cash from Best Dressed Chicken. 11 weekly winners score free KFC for a year. 65-inch TVs, smartphones, and more. Just WhatsApp your receipt to 876-784-7811 to enter and win big in the KFC Big League.
Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting Gaming and Lotteries.
Hear my cry.
A Voice You Love returns home
Mighty God of Daniel.
this August. Afternoons on Nationwide On Air and online will never be the same.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 7 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 7 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Just to tell you, big news for you, big news for music lovers, and big news for fans of Desmond Anthony Aloysius Augustus Idiomaticus Mackenzie. He returns on Sunday. Return of the Mac, literally, yeah, return of the Mac. The Mac returns on Sunday for Mayor's Parlour from 1 to 7 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. No World Cup games on the schedule for that day. So Desmond McKenzie, who's been itching to go, he's been rearing to go, he's been chomping at the bit to go, wants to be unleashed, wants to be released. Well, he's going to be let out of jail on Sunday for the Mayor's Parlour from 1 to 7 p.m. And of course, the chat already, the people there talking. SH says, George, will the Mayor be on this Sunday? Yes, SH. Corey B says, Yippee, the Mayor is back. Cheryl Wallace says, yay. Mark Greensword said, my generation return, cheerful bird. Yes. So yeah man, the Mayor is back. Hold on, Michelle. Just before we go to a healthier, you have to tell the listeners, and the audience rather, big development in the United Kingdom, because the man who would be Prime Minister in the next general election, or at the next general election, after the next general election, Nigel Farage, has announced he's to resign as the Member of Parliament for Clacton, and he resigned to fight a by-election, as he revealed he's under a second investigation by the UK Parliamentary Standards Watchdog over undeclared gifts. Now, the Reform UK leader said his resignation was part of sticking two fingers up at the establishment, and that it would prove that the public wanted him to stay on as an MP. In a defiant address, which just ended moments ago, Farage claimed the establishment, that's the political establishment in the UK, was out to prevent a reform government, and he accused the media of a pylon and of harassing his family. Farage said he was not quitting to go to the US or to go back into business, but he refused to be judged by the media and would resign to fight in the by-election. In case you came in late, Farage has been under investigation for accepting a £5 million sterling gift from a wealthy businessman who was the subject of criminal proceedings in the United States. So that whole controversy has caused him to resign, and he'll fight a by-election in the seat called Clacton. Clacton was previously held by the Conservative Party. They want to win it back. Labour want to win it. And Farage says, well, he's going to go put himself up for re-election, and if the public re-elect him, it will prove that the investigation against him is not damaging him in the eyes of the public. All right, so that's the very latest out of the United Kingdom. Anyway, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is urging Jamaicans to take precautions to reduce heat exposure, warning that excessive heat stress can be harmful to health and that in some cases it can be fatal. The ministry says the elderly, bedridden persons, infants, and the children under 6 years old, people who are overweight, and those living with conditions such as diabetes and hypertension are among those most at risk. and it knows that heat-related illnesses can range from mild conditions to conditions that are severe. I'm speaking this morning with environmental health specialist, occupational health and safety at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Marsha Ann Palmer. Good morning, Marsha.
Hi, good morning, and good morning to your listeners.
Thank you for joining me, Marsha. All right, so in this period of excessive heat, sweltering conditions, there are some
Yes.
vulnerable groups. Who are those vulnerable groups, and what's your message to them?
So we have the elderly, which is usually among the high-risk group for almost all these conditions that you can think of, are very young. The infants less than 6 years. You have persons who are bedridden. Those have persons who you'd have to consider as well. And you also have to consider those persons who work outdoors, or persons who work on the construction site, or itinerant vendors, those persons who ply their wares on the street, and just about anyone who has to be, for the purpose of their job, out and about in this heat. So those are some of the main persons that we have concerns with in terms of their exposure to heat.
But people would say to you, Marsha, and that, look, yeah, Jamaica hot and everybody here know how to handle heat, and what's the big deal? What's the ministry saying? Your response to them based on that line of reasoning would be what?
Well, yes, Jamaica is a tropical country, so we're exposed to heat on all year round. But what we're seeing at this point in time is in terms of the intensity, there is a greater intensity in terms of the heat at this point in time. And the persons tend to walk around not fully hydrated on a normal basis. So what we're saying, be mindful of the what we're experiencing in this high heat index, and be mindful of the level of fluid that you're consuming and your exposure to this heat. Yes, we're in a tropical country and we're accustomed to it, but what we're seeing based on these climatic conditions, climate change, is not way above the normal heat index that we would normally be experiencing at this time.
What's the effect of the excessive heat, Marsha Ann Palmer, on people who consume a lot of sugary drinks in this period, and of course those who drink a lot of rum, a lot of alcohol?
Well, under normal circumstances, drinking a lot of sugary drink, drinking a lot of alcoholic beverage, the ministry has always stated that this can be bad for your health under normal circumstances. So think about when your body is under additional stress, putting it or adding other stressful conditions to your body that is already experiencing stress because of the heat is going to put you at a risk for conditions like, for persons who are drinking a lot of these high sugary drink, we have to consider diabetic conditions. Hypertension is one of those conditions that you'd want to be on the lookout for. So in addition to persons consuming these high sugary content or high alcoholic beverages, you are already under stress from the heat itself. These products, or as much as they're fluid, they actually put a greater demand on the body. So water is what we encourage persons to drink as much as possible. You can drink coconut water, which has electrolytes in it, so that will help to replenish those electrolytes that you may lose from sweating. But we discourage persons drinking high sugary drink or alcoholic beverages at this time, and consume as much as possible, even when you're not thirsty, and just replenish the water or the fluids that you'd be losing through sweat.
And those people who do a lot of their work outdoors, Marsha, and those people who do vending, who are out from early and until late, and them say, "Chuck, me have melanin in my skin, they say me have black man already, so sun now go bother me." What's your message to them?
Well, you have melanin, so you have a greater protection in terms of your skin. But what you're doing, you're sweating more than normal. Your body is releasing a lot more fluid more than normal. And even though you may have melanin in your skin, persons with dark skin complexion can contract skin cancer. So we have to protect ourselves, wear long sleeve clothing, loose fitting clothing to cover up our skin when we're out in the sun, and ensure that we're not wearing these tight, so, it's the fashion. You're seeing people in a lot of tights and clothing that is very close to the skin. It doesn't allow, sometimes we have to think about the fabric that we're wearing as well. It doesn't allow the skin to breathe. And so so the heat builds up in the body. So you want persons to wear loose-fitting clothing, long-sleeve clothing, especially if you're out in the sun. Protect your skin and hydrate. A lot of persons don't consider drinking water until they're thirsty, and so we're encouraging people just routinely, every 2 hours, and don't wait until you're thirsty. Drink as much fluid as possible and cover up. Stay in the shaded areas as much as possible, because it's about, you're dehydrating, but you're also exposing your skin, to the sun, and that can lead to other skin conditions.
Excellent. Thank you for your time this morning, Marsha, and all the best to you and the team at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And take your own advice, stay hydrated.
You as well.
Yeah, man. Yes, indeed. Both me and you. All right, Marsha Palmer. She's an environmental health specialist in the Occupational Health and Safety Unit at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Break back with birthdays, including a lady who celebrated 106 years. Woo! After the break.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:51.
It's that time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. Want to say happy birthday going out to...
So we now started 106?
Huh?
Now start with 106?
I was going to say a very special lady.
Of course. Run it.
Yeah.
Run it, man.
Nina Brown of Drumblair, Kingston, is 106 years old today.
106 and Park. 106. 106. 106 more. Nina Brown.
That's amazing.
Drumblair.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Happy birthday to you, Miss Nina. It's your birthday today. Good morning to you, very special lady. Happy birthday. And it's coming from your family, your friends, your well-wishers, and the pastors and members of the Saxthorpe Methodist Church. Happy birthday.
106, Miss Nina. Live it up. This song is for you, by the way. You know what's special?
Yeah.
Her name is Nina Brown. Many years after she was born, there was a character in a cult classic movie, New Jack City, where the character, one of the main character, well, the main character was Nino Brown,
No.
played by Wesley Snipes. Yeah? Yeah, anybody who knows their movies knows Nino Brown, and he transcended movies. Yeah? Am I, my brother's keeper indeed. Nina Brown, yeah? Wesley Snipes. So Nina Brown, 106. Congratulations. Turn away for register the rest of them because it's time.
Yeah, so happy birthday greetings also going out to another special birthday person, a family member celebrating a birthday today, Evie Vernon Baines. Evie Vernon Baines, good morning to you. It's your birthday, and there's a special message. There's a special message for you, Evie.
Testing.
Loading up Evie's special message.
Testing.
But in the meantime, happy birthday as well to Glenn Dixon. Glenn Dixon, a former NNN BDE, celebrating his birthday today.
Morning, Mr. Glenn.
Good morning, Mr.
Very well
Glenn.
spoken.
Happy birthday to you.
Good
Wishing
man.
for you a lovely day. Happy birthday as well. This one says to my darling Ariel, 6 years old today. We're extremely proud of you and love you with all our hearts and our souls. Continue to dance and sing like you're the biggest stage and all eyes are on you. Love you, princess. Have a wonderful day at summer school. So happy birthday to you, Ariel, 6 years old today from Mommy, Daddy, and Annabelle. Happy birthday as well to DSP Sophia Price in Kingston, Khalees Clark Davis in Mabay, and Grace Walker in Mabay as well, Delroy Chamberlain and Sav, Shelley and Roden, and Ron Carr in the Bahamas. All of these are coming from Sergeant Wayne Wallace. And this one, Chrissy Richardson Campbell at JSIF. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. And the greetings are coming from Maxine and the rest of the JSIF team. Happy birthday to our friends on Facebook, Malika Mason, Nikia Millwood, and Nikki Brown Campbell, and Terrence McPherson. Happy birthday as well to Maxine Stewart, Trudy and Dollars, Yardy Mill, Casey Janae, Paulette Cunningham Campbell, Denisha Shaw, Marenza Thorpe. Happy birthday. Wishing for you guys a wonderful day. And quickly, I did see some birthdays over in the YouTube chat. Where did they go? Do we have that special message now for Evie? Evie, our family member, celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to ya.
Did you skate through the Facebook ones?
I did Facebook.
Alright,
I'm
good.
trying to get to the YouTube ones, but the chat has jumped.
Jumping chat.
Yeah.
Chat to the jump.
Evil people will kill your soul. Lifetime contract, me and God never lose contact. Vegan well warm and stop. Them want eat man food like snack. Them judge real, stereotype man true man black. See the enemy I set them trap. Almighty I push them back. Hey, just fear no evil as you go on. No. Yeah. Give praises, another day is done. Love your life. Love your family.
iJazz Trading says, happy birthday to Andrea Thomas McKnight. Have a great day from the Barrant family. So the Barrant family sending birthday greetings to Andrea Thomas McKnight. Have a great day today, Andrea. Arlene Rose says, happy birthday blessings to friends Trisha and Minot in Islington Port, and also to Diana Wallace from Jointwood in St. Elizabeth, who lives in New Jersey. Donna Brown says, happy birthday to my daughter Danielle Brown, coming from mom and dad. And then Glenn Binns says, happy birthday to my dad Byron Binns over in Tollgate, Clarendon, who turns 93 today. Baton, Daddy Byron, baton. Your son Glenn Binns sending birthday greetings to you as you turn 93 today.
Monique Grant sending happy birthday to Gigi from Young Jamaica. Happy birthday to you, Gigi.
One
Wishing
Gigi.
for you a lovely day. Yeah. Big up yourself, Gigi. And Marigold sending happy birthday greetings to Trisha Minot. You said this one?
Yeah, man.
Oh, all right. So big up yourself, Trisha.
876 Thelma says, George, my birthday was on the 4th. Wish me happy birthday. Then, all right, 876 Thelma, you've always been here and always been good. So, belated birthday greetings to 876 Thelma, whose birthday was on July 4, but she's still celebrating.
Belated happy birthday to you, Thelma.
So, watch this now. So, one of my key listeners. He's a long-time big man.
Yeah.
Alan Saunderson, aka Rocky, 97th birthday today, July 7. Yeah, he's a racehorse man too, you know. Yeah, so Mas Alan, Mas Rocky, 97 today. You know who the birthday greetings are coming from. Your daughter Terry and the whole family from Barbican Terrace in St. Andrew, my old neighbors. Yeah, they're sending birthday shout out to you. So Mas Alan Saunderson, aka Rocky, 97 and solid same way. Yeah, like a rock stone, Rock of Gibraltar, Mas Alan. Them can't get you out. Yeah, big racehorse man. Happy birthday to you, Mas Alan. Big up every time.
Happy birthday. A final one here. Happy birthday to Errol Davidson, best taxi driver. 23 years carrying me and my kids. Currently lives in New York. Donna Llewellyn says, so happy birthday to you, Errol Davidson. Wishing for you a good one.
Here, Kirk with him bad mindset. Kirk say Argentina day today. Kirk, me don't know what that mean, but make we see what I go on.
All right, Kirk. So if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary as well. And that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton at 10. Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tana.
Judge.
Good morning.
Popcorn says again. All I know is God is holy. Protect your life, it's the one and only. Evil people will kill you slowly.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
All I know is God is holy. Protect your life, it's the one and only. Evil people will kill you slowly. Lifetime contract, man got
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Jamaica's health profile is changing. Illnesses that were not common a few years ago